Tin foil. Is there a problem, officer? I'm traveling. Is there a problem, officer? I'm traveling. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Sovereign Citizen Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Forgive my hair, it's drying, so it will be changing as it dries. It'll be fine. How y'all doing? Good, hopefully. You get an early stream today because Baha and I have a game day with friends starting around 2. So, yeah, get to stream early. Today we have all sorts of different sovereign citizens, and it'll be fun. So that's about it. Let's get into it. What do I want to watch first? This is interesting. You might remember this, this young woman, from her previous work that showed up on this channel. Let me actually get a reminder for you in case you don't remember her. This was her?
It's private. So
I mean, it's still her, but this was her.
Owned.
Okay. So it's not registered in any state or territory of New South Wales?
No, I'm not part of the state.
Nope. Okay. Do you have any identification on you?
I do.
Australia. I do like her hat.
Just
I like
been
that
asked for
hat.
identification. Just pulling out my...
So anyway, this was a year ago. She was warned. She tried to do all the sovereign citizen stuff in Australia, where she's from, and didn't go well. Unfortunately, once again, because she didn't listen a year ago when she got pulled over, she got pulled over again. This was a month ago, so let's see how that went. Hey, fun fact, if the cops start following your car with the sirens that go wee-woo, and the lights are going, it means pull your car over. It's not a suggestion. If I didn't say H-Baird, I don't think I did say H-Baird with 37 months says I do not stand under this early stream time. You best overstand it then.
I'm being pulled over by Highway Patrol. He's got his lights on. I don't feel the need to pull over. There's no emergency, so I'm waving him on.
I don't feel the need to pull over is not a great thing to think to yourself when the cops are pulling you over. Like, again, don't, like, do more than you legally have to for the cops. But also, like, don't do less than you're legally required, because they will take you to jail. God damn it.
There's no emergency.
She looks genuinely surprised. She's like, why are they still following me? There's no emergency. I wonder why. If only there was an answer.
Go past, mate.
I wonder if she's gonna find out. Nah, I'm sure the cops will just totally, like, let this go. They're usually super great at that.
There's no emergency here. What happens to be the emergency?
Stop your vehicle.
What happens to be the emergency?
They are still driving. They're talking right now, but that's because the cop pulled up next to her, like, driving, and she's yelling.
You.
I'm not I'm not in any
There it is,
need
they stopped.
of assistance. Thank you.
Have your license on you?
So they speed to catch up to me, who's not speeding.
They aren't pulling you over for speeding, they're pulling you over for not having a proper license plate and registration.
At least.
H-Baird says, to be fair, yesterday I pulled over to let an ambulance that was coming up from behind me go by, and the car that was behind me decided that this was a good time to pass me. Some drivers are just jackasses. Very true.
120.
Thank you. Can you state your full name?
I got 7 plates on.
The vehicle registered?
Well, it's private, so it's a private vehicle.
Needs to be registered if you want to drive your private vehicle on public roadways.
Privately owned.
Yeah. Is it registered to use on a Victorian road?
Her brain is buffering. Wait, you can see it.
Is it registered to use on a Victorian road?
That question is a confusing one based on her worldview. Yeah. Like, she would be like, why are you asking that? What?
Road of
That doesn't even make sense as a question to her. Because she doesn't understand that that means it doesn't matter if it's your property, because you're using it on public property, and the public government gets to set the rules for what gets to happen on the public roads, because they built them.
What state are you in?
Terra Australis. There is no states.
She's basically, what she just said is, for those who don't get what she just said, it'd be like a cop pulling me over and them being like, what state are you from? And me being like, I'm not from a state. I'm from the land of the I'm of the land of the Americas. She's basically trying to say that she can define away political barriers. Like, she thinks she can eschew international borders just by saying it, which is, like, incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I'm so tired of this shit. Thought you guys wanted to
She's
start.
so tired of this shit. Oh, man. Oh, man. If you think this is such a great trick to not have authority of the Australian government over you, wait until you hear about the Aboriginals. Holy shit. Fenekagami says, morning, Hannah. What witchcraft is this? I will lurk while we throw axes to celebrate my brother's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your brother. Have fun. That sounds great. Altered Undying says, hey, Hannah, happy to see you on. I only just found out about the new Deck of Many Things release, and I feel like the supplement was made for me. It sounds amazing. I actually didn't hear that was coming out. That's cool.
No, not now.
Did you get your pay rise? I'm not in any need of assistance nor protection.
That's not why they're here. It's so interesting. People get, and I think this is the thing with sovereign citizen beliefs, this comes up with a lot of conspiratorial beliefs. People get really stuck on what they want the world to be and not what the world is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to not, like, do things to strive towards what you want the world to be. Of course you should. Do activism, vote, or whatever you think is going to, you know, move the needle in your direction. That's fine. But people skip that step. Conspiracy theorists skip the step where you're like, I see what the world is like, I don't like it, so I will work to change it, or at the very least work to find a way to be comfortable in the world as it is, despite that discongruence between my internal worldview and the external reality of the world. But they skip that and just go, I'll just pretend reality is different. Been there. But trust me, not worth it. Doesn't help. You can't delusion away reality. It always wins.
Don't need this service. And they've sped.
What's the 832 truth?
Is it like cognitive dissonance where they're kind of in and
832,
kind of
John.
out? I think that's required. I think some amount of anchoring in reality is required, at least the most tenuous bit, because when you don't, you get so out there that, like, you're a danger to yourself and others. And I'm not saying sovereign citizens aren't, theoretically. I just mean, I don't think your average sovereign citizen is a mortal or serious danger outside of the practical knock-on effect of, like, we have licenses and registrations and insurance for a reason. They are a danger in the sense that they are being negligent, but I don't think they're going out of their way to hurt people or themselves. They just are, for whatever reason, incapable or unwilling to meet reality on its own terms, so they have to come up with all these beliefs to justify why they think the world allows them to do whatever they want. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Yeah. Not great practical advice, but it's a good line. Hi, Necrophage, with 32 months and a link to a TikTok.
Welcome to Cheese Church, where I preach about a cheese and tell you how to pair her. Today we worship Shepherd's
cheese
Hope,
can
a
pair
fresh
me.
sheep's milk cheese from Shepherd's Way Farm in Minnesota. This cheese is so fresh, 1 week ago she was literally liquid milk. The texture is delicate and jiggly like Jell-O, but she melts into silk once she hits your palate. Right now it's the beginning of lambing season, which means the mama sheep are giving birth to their babies and starting to produce milk. These early batches of milk make for particularly delicious cheese, with notes of fresh grass and citrus with a lingering tang that pairs very well with beet relish. We served that combo at my sheep's milk class with Beautiful Run last weekend, and people were crazy for it. Today I'm pairing her with pea shoots and a light mustard vinaigrette, the cutest little pickled beets, oranges, black pepper, and flaky salt. Shepherd's Hope can be tricky to find, so I recommend asking your local
Well, that
cheese shop
looks
if they can
goddamn
order it for you.
delicious.
Let me know who you'd pair.
Wonder what this would fall under the DSM. Well, it's not. That's the thing. There's a video I want to watch sometime, but it'll have to take up a whole stream, where it's a behavioral, was it a behavioral psychologist? It was someone who's in the psychology field talking about the sovereign citizen movement, because what he does is he gets called for, like, competency evaluations for sovereign citizens often, because he's kind of has an expertise in it. He just kind of became that person. And it's like an hour-long presentation he gave at some conference or something, where he talks about how these people aren't crazy in the colloquial sense. Like, conspiracy theorists, there are certainly comorbidities of conspiracy theories with mental illness, right? There is a high likelihood, or higher likelihood, that people in conspiratorial communities might be suffering from some sort of, like, mental illness that disconnects them from reality, like schizoaffective disorder or related stuff like that. But that doesn't mean they all are, or that they aren't legally sane, that they are not responsible for their own actions, that they are so far gone that they are not aware of the people around them. So it's not necessarily diagnosable. Like, it's not a diagnosable thing for most of these people. It's literally just their worldview is really, really askew. And you need to be really careful about labeling people with really, really out there worldviews as insane or diagnosable, because we have a pretty bad history of doing that when people are just different. And to be clear, that doesn't make them right. The sovereign citizens aren't right, of course, but they're not crazy. I don't think they're incapable of realizing what reality is. I just think that they have specific sets of circumstances, trauma, different things that preclude them from meeting reality on its own terms. I just don't think they can, for whatever mental reason. Again, I'm not saying that they don't have a responsibility at all. Like a lot of things, life is complicated and there's a lot of nuance, and things can both be your fault and the result of, like, external factors outside of your control. But, like, it's a complicated topic, and I don't know. So I find it so interesting. Even though a lot of the videos are the same, I always learn a little bit more when we watch them. I find this stuff so cool. Let's see. Briar Rose 1984 says, question, were you a fan of Mythbusters back in the day? I was. I liked Mythbusters. And Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for gifting a sub. Was it the UCSF Department of Psychiatry? It may have been. I don't know. I think it was a video that got posted on the Discord under, like, the Sovsit suggestions thing. We'll watch it sometime the next week or so, probably. It was really interesting. I already watched it just because it was personally interesting. Sometimes I like to watch things with you guys live, but that was just so interesting I had to watch the whole thing.
32 in the Bible, the truth shall set you free.
Yep.
You should read the back.
Okay, right now this isn't about your religion, ma'am. This is about the fact that you don't have a driver's license.
I saw some of it. I will have a read.
Well, they're private plates.
I wouldn't even know. I feel like even the term lazy thinkers, and this isn't a knock against you for saying that. I get why you're saying that. I don't think that's true, because it often takes way more effort for them to contort reality into the shape that they want it to than it would be to just accept the truth. So I wouldn't say it's lazy, it's motivated. It's the opposite of lazy. It is motivated thinking. They are contorting their thinking and reality towards a predetermined end point. That end point is they don't have to answer to the government. Ever. Fenekagami says, well, all this is true about out there worldviews are not the same thing as mental illnesses. It's also true that delusional worldviews over time can cause mental illness or become so degenerative that they're functionally indistinguishable. And that's why I think it's important to, like, catch things. Like, we need to find out better intervention. Don't get me wrong. Prevention is, like, the biggest thing. Making sure that younger people understand how to think. And I don't mean that in some sort of totalitarian way. I mean in making sure they understand fallacious arguments, how arguments work, how to think problems through, and figure things out rationally. I think that's important. Making sure they understand how propaganda works, making sure they understand how motivated thinking works and how to avoid it when you're trying to problem solve. But we do have a problem of people who are like this already. How do you have, I don't even know what to call it, gentle confrontation You know what I mean? We need to find some way of talking to these people, because it's a problem. Even if it's not a mental illness, it's like, how do you talk people down from a worldview that's completely incongruent with the reality that we live in? Not easily. And sometimes being, as we've seen, if you're just really harsh on it, people push back, it can make it worse. They feel persecuted. And again, I'm not saying that persecution is like a justified feeling to them because they are doing stupid, illegal shit. But it doesn't matter. It still is their behavior and how they feel about the situation. So you gotta navigate that, even if it isn't fair or in line with reality.
They're false.
What's false is Victoria Police
Minute
with an
left on the big train.
ABN to overseas. You guys are the fraudulent ones. That's fine. I've already got them. I'm actually I'm on YouTube because I went viral for this a year ago. So woo!
You didn't learn your lesson? Also, when you went viral a year ago, also viral selectively, not like front page of YouTube viral, just more like in the sovereign citizen video commentary sphere, it went a little viral. And most people who watched her video, I watched that video when it came out, I read the comments, it was mostly people telling her she was wrong. It wasn't like it went viral and everyone was like, yes, you nailed it. They were like, hey, this is stupid. You shouldn't do this. You're gonna get in a lot of trouble. And here we are. The YouTube commenters have been vindicated. That's rare.
Thank you. I will uphold the truth. Unfortunately, you guys are the ones who sped to catch up with me, and there's no emergency. No worries, Baldy.
Really?
They're just hanging out, doing what they do, pretending to be, you know, whatever it is that they do. I had fucking yogurt in here, and I have shit that needs to stay cold. So if you don't mind, I'll be running my vehicle.
That's not smart. Again, like, this isn't the United States. I don't know the racial politics of Australia in terms of, like, racially motivated police shootings, if that's even a thing. I don't know if Australian cops carry guns, but oh my god. The idea of someone in the United States in the middle of a traffic stop, like, trying to turn their car on, especially when the traffic stop is going this badly, I am afraid. I am afraid even with her being, like, a white woman. Like, that's how stupid this is. That's how dangerous this would be. Do not turn your car on. They will assume you are going to run. She did call the cop Baldy. She did.
Look at that yogurt.
I did look at that yogurt. Okay.
My vehicle. Look at that yogurt.
Blueberry? That's nice. What kind of nuts are those? Those pistachios? Nice. Why doesn't she have a bag? Probably for environmental reasons, although, yeah, we use, like, reusable bags, like cloth things, or like a big tote that has, like, a freezer section in the back of the car.
I seriously think I'm gonna go anyway.
Alta Undying says, Hannah, I sent you the video about the many things so you too can know about the, the Austic princess questing to save, is that supposed to be autistic princess? Questing to save her Medusa druid best friend. I think they're girlfriends. Also card wizards who can hide spells up their sleeves. That's pretty cool. Wizards has been doing pretty good about representation and stuff. That's nice. Although the corporate structure's been fucked. You hear, if you're a D&D fan, for those who didn't hear, reportedly Hasbro, which bought Wizards of the Coast, who produces Dungeons & Dragons as well as Magic the Gathering, probably some other stuff I'm unfamiliar with, they're looking to be maybe bought by Tencent, which is a shitty company. So if you've hated how Hasbro's been dealing with the D&D IP, oh boy, it's only downhill from here if Tencent gets it. Holy shit.
Turn your lights
Oh,
off,
was it
you
not
retard.
truth? I hope that's true, Tea Time Tea, because holy fuck, I do not want Do not want.
That's
Oh, Hasbro announced they're not selling? Thank fuck. And I don't even like Hasbro. Hasbro sucks. Have you seen what they've done to Power Rangers? God damn it. Hasbro. Fucking assholes.
should get some truth music going.
Sorry, I'm still salty that Hasbro has decided to stop adapting the Sentai footage into Power Rangers, and now they're making Power Rangers 100% original footage. And I'm, like, super salty about that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm, like, super upset. Like, that's the whole fucking... That's, like, half the charm of the show, is that it's adapted Japanese Sentai. The fuck are you doing? Let's spend more money to make a product that's less like what people liked. Smart. Smart Hasbro.
He actually looks like Doc Martin. It's my folder. I need to do some quick research.
Hey, Brent.
Do some quick study. I need to get my ass together and get these serving papers. Actually, I don't trust these guys. I'm just gonna lock my car.
Is Power Rangers over in the US? They had a reunion movie last year, from the original Mighty Morphin team, those that were still alive, which was okay. It was rushed, but, like, it was fun to see some of the characters together. The finale, I heard, to the original Power Rangers series that happened, like, the 30th anniversary or something that just happened, I heard was good. But yeah, they're basically rebooting with the next season.
I'm a vulnerable lady in the middle of nowhere with two big ass costume wearers.
God, when my hair dries, my bangs never know what to do until I fix them later. So ignore the bangs.
You're the one smiling, but I'm assuming you've at least got 3 vaccinations. I can't say that anymore. 3 vaccinations.
Oh, she's an anti-vaxxer. That's not surprising at all.
Like shit.
I didn't hear what she called the cops. Do I need to go back, or should I not go back under any circumstances?
Half of your force is sick and you still can't figure it out.
Hats off, Brent. What do you want me to wear? Bullet crown? That's so much work. Can I please not wear the bullet crown? I have to go to a party after this, and that thing fucks up my hair so bad. And my bangs are already dog shit. Would flower crown be okay? Flower crown would help, and also not fuck up my hair. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. I also had a hydrate, which I'll do. No, it wasn't from Peter. A fan made it. Thank you, Brent. I really appreciate your understanding.
It's a bit obvious, isn't it? I have nothing unnecessary in my car, so I'm not worried about that. I'm actually not worried about anything apart from putting this sick-ass sticker on my skateboard.
I think I've been deepening my voice on stream the last couple days, too, because I'm really nervous and uncomfortable streaming. So sorry about that. If you're like, why is Hannah's voice so much lower? I'm nervous. Hydrate.
We're just not gonna get grinded off, probably. God, they're so robotic. I don't even know. I can't even. Oh, the other one's got fucked teeth. Looks like he just came out of jail. Looks like he just came out of fucking coke factory.
For those who want to see what the bullet crown looks like, to be clear, these are plastic. These are children's toy bullets that this was made of. Peter was supposed to give me a real one based on our wager, but he never did. So it made me this, which is lovely. Thank you.
King James Bible. It's pointless. It's really pointless. You can't do anything because they're just fucking. Turn your lights off, you fucking mongers. Bloody mongmongers.
Here's the thing with Australian English. I cannot tell when things are just silly and when things are awful slurs. Because that sounded like an awful slur to me. But is that just silly? Like it's like someone will be like, hey, we're gonna go to Macca's? And I'm like, oh god, is this a hate crime? I'm scared. Everyone's calling me a cunt. Don't go to Australia. Scary place.
It's getting hot. Fucking throw it out. No. I'm just so sick of being fucking harassed. It's not stopping me. It's a good
Oh, it actually is a slur? I was joking!
day to get me.
Jesus Christ, lady!
I feel good. Oh my god, they're wasting my time. Not really, because my time is timeless. I am timeless.
Don't type it if it's a slur.
I called him Baldy. That's true though. What's your thick, bro? Are you, what, hairy?
Damn, she's a sovereign citizen, an anti-vaxxer, and a piece of shit? Shocking. Basically the R word. Makes sense.
She's fucking waving at us. I'm not being a smartass. I'm not fucking harassing you. You guys are working for a fraudulent corporation who is this close to being tried for crimes against humanity.
I find it interesting that a lot of sovereign citizens believe, and this is part of the mythology, that governments of the world are secretly private corporations, which to me implies that they have an underlying anxiety and understanding that private corporations are like a scary thing that control a lot of aspects of our lives. Certainly not in totality, it's a lot more complicated than that, but they recognize corporate hegemony, corporate power as a threat because they don't have any say in it, right? Corporate structures are sort of autocratic. They are top down. The board is elected, and if it's a public company, of course, investors like vote on the board of directors and stuff to make decisions. But like a private company or something, especially in this case, because she thinks it's a secret private company that no one knows about, just top-down directives, right? It's kind of a dictatorship. So they recognize that, but they don't recognize necessarily problems with capitalism as a whole. They just think that secretly the government is a company. They skipped a few steps. H. Baird says, I've been to Australia. It's a lot like the US, except everyone has an accent and drives on the wrong side of the road. Basically, Boston.
And genocide.
Unlike me, I don't have an accent at all.
And fraud. So, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm sitting in a better spot than you are. And if you don't want to get on...
Yeah, I'll be streaming on YouTube again. I'm just trying to come back slowly. I do plan on simul streaming again. Maybe even starting, like, tomorrow. I'm not sure.
The train out of hell, then...
Just, you know, easing into it. Making sure I can handle one chat before I add a second one. If that makes sense.
That's fine, that's your...
I've also not been, like, tweeting that I've been going live, which has probably given me fewer viewers, but also fewer assholes coming in and trying to fuck with me, probably, so.
It's your karma. I have no, whatever, just whatever. This is good. I've needed another video. Too bad I look like fucking shit. Kidding, I'm cool.
Me, self-deprecating to deal with my internalized bullshit.
Too bad I look like fucking shit. Kidding, I'm cool.
Kidding, I'm cool. Aaliyah says you're doing great. Thank you. Kidding, I'm cool.
Seriously looks like Doc Martin. Oh, here he comes. No, yep, can't get out of his seat. Oh, that's right. You'll find me on eBay. You'll find me on eBay. Find me on YouTube. Sovereign Cleo.
Blobby.
You actually really...
Fenigami says, moreover, Hollywood takes itself way too seriously to be able to emulate Sentai. It's a big part of why anime adaptations in Hollywood tend to suck. Yeah, there's a sincerity. There's a goofy sincerity that, for whatever reason, Hollywood is very, very ashamed of and scared of, and it's just a shame, because, you know, sincere silliness is great. Not all the time, not everything should be silly, but, you know, I don't know. I think Gen X really jaded everyone. Don't get me wrong, material conditions jaded everyone too, and 9/11 is a pretty big part of it, but at a certain point, humor within the 90s was just like, man, everything sucks, man. Everything sucks. Like, nothing matters, man. Sincerity's lame. Eat my shorts. Yeah. Have a little bit of sincerity. It's good for you. Have some human emotions without being sarcastic about it. It's ironic coming from me, I know. But off the show, believe it or not, I have some sincere moments from time to time. Briar Rose says, speaking of goofy sincerity, have you played any of the Yakuza games? I have not. Are those the ones that have the karaoke minigames? Because I'm familiar. I just haven't played them.
Really pathetic looking policeman. One, you need to spend a lot of money on your fucking mouth. Obviously an ex-drug
My ironic patois is not lost on me. What the fuck is a patois?
dealer, ex-druggie. And you, well, you need a fucking diet.
Don't use French at me, you
self-care,
fucks.
Take your head out of your ass.
I gotta look this up
And
now.
me, well, I just need to get better at blending in.
Dialect of the common people of a
Doesn't matter.
region,
Just need to know
differing
my
in
shit and
various
print out my
respects from the
fucking
standard
15
language of the rest of the
circle
country. What are you talking? Ope just gotta go down to the mire and get some Fago. What are you talking about? I sound just like I have a transatlantic accent, okay? I don't sound like anything in particular. You're telling me you can tell me what part of the country I'm coming from? I don't know about that. Oh. Amber Retzel says, Hollywood likely looked at Don Brothers and how insane it is as an adaptation of Mamataro and went, fuck, this is beyond us. Those words probably meant something. And Procagam, thanks for 32 months. How you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Oh, what are you doing after
Sounds Canadian? Do you know where Michigan is? Sounds Canadian. If only there was some sort of reason that there's some commonality between a Michigan accent and a Canadian accent.
David? Sovereign. Try it someday. That's what it says. SOVEIGEN. Fuck, I don't even know. It gets me every time. How do you spell sovereign?
Heard some Chicago?
Oh, it's gonna be such a
We're
shit
in
doing
the
that
same
video.
region!
Sorry, guys.
They're all, we're in there. Do you know how big the world is? Canada, parts of Canada, Michigan, and Chicago are all, you could circle them on a map and it would not be that big. On this globe. Literally, my pinky finger covers all of them all at the same time. God damn it. It's a gradient.
Oh god, come on already, you fuck. Come on. Oh, they both gotta get out like little puppy dogs. It's so cute. Oh, you're a fucking big toughie, aren't you? Are you gonna breath on me? You just test me for drugs now. It's fine because I'm not on any.
Good? I'm glad.
This guy needs to go on a diet.
Jesus
Get brutal,
Christ,
but
she's mean.
Truth seekers, I seek the truth, so I'm not gonna lie to him and say, fuck, you got a great bod.
Want to hear a Baltimore accent? Downtown Baltimore. Delia Vianney says, can't stay for the rest because I have to go to work. But here's the rest of my bits till I'm not broke again. I love this community and I'm glad to see your streams back again. I'm glad to be back. Thank you very much.
So you guys ready to be charged for crimes against humanity?
Are you guys ready to be charged with crimes against humanity? What a good opening line. Gotta remember that one. Just bust into a room. I would kick on stream to do an effect, but I'm not wearing socks. So, no feet for you. Kick in the door. Are you ready to be charged for crimes against humanity? Ma'am, this is a Cinnabon. I'll take a roll, please.
Fraud?
There's your
Genocide?
license back. There's
Genocide?
2 infringements, one for unregistered motor vehicle and one for displaying plates not issued to that vehicle. My details are on the bottom. Both infringements are due on the 1st of February. Details of payment are on the back. There's a phone number, website to sort that out,
Yeah,
okay?
just post it.
Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Pastel
No-
Dyke
no
says,
contract.
early stream, I'm having dinner right now. You've heard of Brinner. Now it's time for Dreckfest. I assume you're in a part of the world where it's dinner time. I know. I'm making a joke.
They got me. Look. I
She's
don't
an
want
anti-vaxxer. She's talking about vaccine stuff when she says genocide. She's an anti-vaxxer. She's doing conspiracy stuff.
touch it. Here's proof that I didn't touch it. And then they'll get me for litter, so I'll just hang on for a second.
Does she really think that if she pushes the ticket out of her window, it's not gonna count? I didn't touch it, you see. it goes by Diary of a Wimpy Kid cheese touch rules. If I don't touch the ticket, I don't have the cheese touch.
They're gonna come back, aren't they? Oh. What am I meant to do with them?
Woo! Squeaky. H-Grid says, it's been almost 3 years since I had my first COVID vaccination. When are we all supposed to drop dead? Right? Right? I had, like, that and boosters. Honestly, I need to go, like, again and get another one. I got a flu shot this year, but it was too recent since I had COVID to get another COVID shot. They're just pretending they were right. They're just pretending they were right.
I'm just gonna fucking leave him on the side of the road. Fuckers just littered. Damn, they tried to shove it in my window. Just call him a fucking fuck. I'm contracted dumb. Okay, so they literally pulled me over, writes out 2 fines, very civil, very not interested.
Your interest is irrelevant.
I won't be surprised they come back. You can't drive. No, we're good. Let's cheat. Writes me out 2 fines. Pretty much says I've got to pay him by this date, blah, blah, blah. I'm slowly putting my window up, put my window...
Was feeling internally dead count? Well, if that counts, then it wasn't murder for me, because I've been feeling dead for years, so...
No contract, shoves it in, just catches it. So, I didn't touch it, paper touch
Too
paper.
fast, too furious. Doom, 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 doom.
I didn't touch it, I didn't contract. They blew out of my window and I fucking drove off and they...
We saw it, why are you summarizing? Like it's last time on Dragon Ball Z. We know what happened, we watched.
Drove off too, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's get this shit edited. Until the next time.
Yikes. So she is bouncing off every sign the universe is giving her that she's wrong. That's a shame. And here's what you missed on Glee. God damn it, Mr. Schuster, why are you creepy? I was a huge Gleek back in the day. Chat, would you believe that in high school, me and my friends were huge fucking Gleeks. For those who don't know, Gleeks were fans of the show Glee. Anyway, we all went to the 3D Glee concert in theaters. How in the world did I not? How did no one know this? I don't know. I was a very interesting quote-unquote high school boy. To be clear, high school boys, cis and straight, can absolutely enjoy Glee. I was not one of those. Maybe they thought I was very gay. Maybe. Anyway, I liked Glee. I would imagine it has aged terribly, but I'd still probably laugh at it. Mr. Schuster's just the worst fucking teacher in the world. Everyone on that show is the worst. I love it. I love the drama. And I love a cappella, so... it's kind of a good combo. Messy drama, gay stuff, and just fabulous fucking musical numbers, so... Oh, this is a shame. Remember the Confederate guy? This is a sovereign citizen who's a Southerner. He's a lost cause revisionist. He is one of these the South will rise again type Confederate dudes. It's unfortunate, and he's also a sovereign citizen, so let's check this out. The, it was Betty. Betty's back. I need to read you the title of this so you can understand why I clicked on it. The title of this video is, Only Congress has the authority to be able to bring about legislation, not the legislative branch. So let's go ahead and watch this video. You should already realize what the issue is. If you don't, please go take a civics lesson. Like for elementary schoolers.
Yeah, if you look it up, Article 1, Section 1. The legislative branch does not have any authority to create legislation. That power or authority was given to Congress.
Congress is the legislative branch of the federal government. So in terms of the federal government, saying the legislature is the same as saying Congress. They're synonyms. Congress is the legislature. It's the bicameral legislature of the United States because it has two chambers, the House and the Senate. These are all words that you could learn from Schoolhouse Rock videos. Ah!
Only Congress can bring about legislation.
Speaking of preventative measures against conspiracy theories and out there worldviews like this, education. Education is so important.
And so traffic court through the Highway Safety Act was created through legislation through the legislative branch.
Okay, are you now talking about your state government? Because your state government isn't a part of the federal government, but it does have its own government structure that includes a state legislature, which is empowered by the federal government through the 10th Amendment? No, 9th Amendment. 10th Amendment? 10th Amendment. All of the rights not granted to the government through the Constitution. I don't remember the exact wording. Basically, it says states and citizens have purview over issues that are not specifically granted to the federal government.
They don't have the authority to do that. Look up Article 1, Section 1. So traffic law is unconstitutional. They committed an unconstitutional treasonous act against the Constitution.
Treason is when you institute speed limits and the need to have a driver's license.
Article 1, Section 1. So traffic laws in these traffic courts are unconstitutional. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's written plain and clear right there.
Not as clear as I guess I had assumed before this video.
The only legislation, the only ones that can commit legislation is
commit legislation. Today, you are here accused of committing legislation. How do you plead? I stand mute, Your Honor.
Congress. The legislative branch, the executive branch, they can't create laws. They don't have that authority given to them by the U.S. Constitution. So, again, you've got no fight in this battle.
I'm good.
For your side.
I try and be so funny, and I will never be funnier than a person trying to be serious like this. You will never be on purpose as funny as some people are accidentally, and that's a shame, but also beautiful. Like dew on a leaf in the morning.
God. You're just tyrants, backing psychopaths, terrorists, traitors to our rights. The common laws of the land called the U.S. Constitution.
The United States Constitution, which you have already pointed out, grants the legislature which is Congress, in the case of the federal government, the ability to make, write, and pass laws. State legislatures have the same power within the purview of their own territory.
Look it up. Is the U.S. Constitution common law? Because I'm not arguing with y'all anymore. I'm just going to look it up, bring up the link, and give it to you, and you can look it up. If you're too lazy to do that, so you won't be proven wrong, go run your mouth, type on your shit somewhere else, or to someone else. Because you got nothing. You have nothing to back
Nothing left to... Sorry.
your side.
In the daylight.
I've got it all.
When the night's right.
U.S. Constitution. The articles, the sections.
Feeling all right.
You've got no argument. You can't win. That's why Van Balian will not talk to me anymore.
Oh.
Because he knows. He can't win. None of y'all
Van Balian's one of the biggest, like, sob-sit reaction YouTubers, for those who don't know.
can win. That's the law in the U.S. Constitution. The legislative branch does not have the power, to commit legislation, to create laws through legislation. Only Congress can. So governors cannot create law. They're in the legislative branch. They cannot create law. Only Congress can. Congress did not create traffic laws.
No, but those rights are granted to the state legislatures, to the state governments. They are allowed to pass traffic laws.
Congress did not create the Highway Safety Act. The president...
Who did? What? Hold on. Highway safe... I can't imagine that's true. If it's an... National Traffic Motor Safety Act authorized the federal government to set and regulate standards for motor vehicles and highways. No, it was a bill, so it was signed. No, Congress did that. What the fuck is he talking about? I'm sorry. Sometimes people say something so stupid that it's like, that's obviously not true. Of course, it's an act. Of course, Congress passed that. But he said it so confidently, I had to look. No, Congress did pass that, because it was a federal law. God damn it. Speaking of too dumb to make up.
You said
this
today,
shit.
as you often say, that you
I saw this.
live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever
Spyro the Fishy says Congress doesn't create laws, the legislature does. What's so hard to understand? Love your streaming. Thank you.
applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation
I'm
in
asking-
Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in
Do you
Singapore.
have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
For those who don't know, you have to be Chinese to be a member of the Chinese Communist Party.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions.
If he wanted it, like, you could ask if you genuinely felt like, hey, like, have you worked with them? That's one thing. It's another to be like, are you a member of the Chinese Communist Party? It's just weird McCarthyism.
Did not help sign it into law with Congress.
They did.
So y'all got nothing. You're losers.
True.
Bye-bye, losers.
Yeah, China doesn't
Bah!
do dual citizenship. Okay. Oh, this is great. Okay, is it this one? Last time we did Sob Sit Day, there was a woman who was just the most batshit, like, not even batshit. She was so confident about herself to this judge. And she got a contempt charge. Well, guess what, chat? She's back. So let's take a look.
State of Michigan versus Flores, file 23-868SD. So Ms. Bridgman, if you want to come forward to the table.
I'm unable to do that. I don't have a license to practice law in the bar arena and in the water. I am a woman on the land, under the law of the land, and under the one true God. I'm a living soul.
Okay, so last time we saw her, she was perfectly fine with going and sitting at the defendant table, representing herself. Today she has decided that she's not going to go past the bar to actually sit at the defendant table because she thinks that that somehow does something. So.
And
Okay, I mean,
you're offered a contract with Beth Michelle Bridgman in all caps. I'm not that person. Anybody else in this room that person?
Hey, hang on.
Okay.
So, Miss Bridgman, you're correct that the bar in the courtroom.
She got a sob-sit lawyer. She is a sob-sit lawyer. That's why she actually came to court in the first place, was for a charge on the unlawful practice of law, because she was one of these grifters that has people pay her to be their lawyer, quote unquote, when in reality she's not a lawyer. She's never been to law school. She's just a sovereign citizen providing quote unquote legal advice. So that happened, and she got a contempt charge because, well, she was there for the arraignment for that charge. She was trying her sovereign citizen stuff, and now she is back after the contempt.
People have to be licensed attorneys to cross the bar to represent other people. Of course, people can and do, as you have, represented yourself on this side of the bar. So you're welcome to sit at the table there, which would perhaps be more comfortable.
This attorney looks like flabbergasted. She looks like she's like, what the fuck is happening? Did no one brief her? Was no one like, hey, just so you know, the defendant in this case is a sovereign citizen? It'd be a good thing to let someone know.
Comfortable for you. If you would prefer to proceed from where you're standing or sitting, that's fine with me as well. Do you have a preference then?
I'd like to stay right here.
Okay, that's
my
very
honor.
That is, she's gonna be in the goddamn gallery? Okay, fine, fuck it.
I think the first matter I need to address is that I have a copy of your sworn oath here, and
That's not relevant for today. So Ms. Bridgman, you filed a motion for me to recuse myself. I'm going to deny that motion. It didn't present any basis.
She wanted him to recuse, I would assume, because she wrote a motion that was essentially, you were mean to me and didn't believe my sovereign citizen things. You need to get me a judge that'll be on my side.
Recusal, so that motion is denied, and we're here for a contempt hearing, which you've been arraigned on for your contempt for interfering with court process and the unauthorized practice of law, and then failing to attend the hearing.
This is true.
So Ms. Miller, any opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor. I will show through the evidence that Ms. Bridgman engaged in the unauthorized practice of law that is contrary to MCL 600.916. She further prevented the defendant in the underlying case from meeting with his MIDC attorney prior to his arraignment on November 30th, 2023, and she also failed to appear for her show cause on December 20th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Thank you.
All right, do you wish any witnesses sequestered?
I don't believe so.
Do you have any witnesses?
Okay, Ms. Bridgman, now's the time you can make your opening
I know they
statement to me.
do question one of her former quote unquote, well, I guess I can call them clients. They're her clients, though I don't believe her services were legal.
First,
which is pretty interesting. Her client was a very young guy, and I feel really bad because he just seemed like he didn't know anything about anything, and she, you know, he's young and dumb, you know, like we all are in some cases, and got taken in by her grift. It sucks.
Witnesses that will be presented.
Yeah, she hasn't been shown on camera at this point. She's avoiding being in front of the camera. It's very annoying. I apologize. I don't think she actually shows up on camera the whole video because she refuses to sit where she's supposed to sit.
Meaning that they have to leave the courtroom and be instructed to not watch the
I'm not even contracted with this hearing, this administrative hearing. I cannot be adulterous to my own oath of office.
I'm gonna assume that
What
you're,
oath of office? To whom? To whom did you swear an oath? You don't have an office. To have an oath of office, you need an office to swear an oath to. You have no office.
Myself
my-
under
You don't even have a cubicle.
an
request for
authority.
sequestration orders, so no sequestration orders enter. So go ahead with your opening statement.
Law is, must be a contract.
The sentence, a law must be a contract, is incorrect. No, those are different things.
The absence of in a valid contract, there is no law, period, which might be part of the problem that we have here. Now,
I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm not gonna interrupt you often during your opening statement. I do want you to know that because of the way the video feed works,
I never saw anything about her bringing a councilwoman.
from where you're standing,
I don't know if you're thinking of a
it's
different
not-
one or if I missed it, but I don't remember anything about it.
picking you up, and I assume that the audio is gonna work through for the district courtroom that's clerking it. But it's,
I'm content with all the people that
okay,
are here
All right, I'm
that
just gonna-
reside on the land that most of us call Michigan.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. Get out of my peninsula.
If that's who is bringing charges against me and there is no person injured, there's no property damage, there should be.
It's supposed to be a pleasant peninsula. They lied to me. God damn it. They lied. Would a state motto do that? Would it lie?
No case. So my statement is that how can I put myself in your jurisdiction, except that you could do it by force and arrest me with 4 deputies with no due process and violate my unalienable rights to try
She could be in another peninsula. Maybe she isn't in yours. They said she's in Michigan.
to
It's in Michigan. This room we are watching is in Michigan.
force
God
me
damn
into your
it.
jurisdiction. Because your oath of office is a violation of
I know.
section
I guess. Okay, you're right. You were thinking you were making a UP joke. That's fair. I don't think she's in the UP.
5 United States Code 3001. You do
This
not
doesn't look like the UP to me, because in my head the UP is just the woods. Black's Law Dictionary request. What do you want me to look up?
have an oath giver.
Injury? Okay.
You have yourself that signed it, and you have a notary. I just did an oath.
I always forget
with
about
the
the
people
UP.
here today.
The UP should really probably be Wisconsin's, but we took it. I think that's a pretty polar move. Injury. Okay. Check this out.
And they signed it, I signed it, and we got a couple of them notarized. That's
Ooh, notarized. That means someone legally saw you sign a document, regardless of the contents.
how it should be. This is not a valid oath. I cannot stand in this court and be brought up because in
Okay, sit down then.
fact, you are operating or masquerading as a lawful
Masquerade.
court, but you're in fraud of the very oath.
Injury, any wrong or damage done to another, either in his person, rights, reputation, or property. The invasion of any legally protected interest of another. And then there's a whole bunch of different injuries. So basically it's harm. It's harm physical, financial, social, personal harm of any kind. In any way you can negatively affect someone materially, emotionally. You get it. In legally binding ways.
That would give your court legitimacy.
You're here. You know what gives the court legitimacy? Their ability to exercise their power.
I have a remedy, Your Honor. I have an oath here,
Remedy this.
and if you would like to take
Obscene
it in the presence
gesture.
of the people and sign and notarize,
I don't want to actually do an obscene gesture. I don't need gifs of me
we can move forward.
giving the finger or whatever.
Otherwise, I would be violating my very own oath of office, and an oath I
I already have one gif of me on the goddamn Twitter gif deck. I don't need another one.
just took downstairs
And it's pre-transition me too, which is a shame.
as well.
You ever been made into a gif?
to the United States of America's Constitution.
If you ever see it, though, there is a gif of me on the internet that's like me from the back in the day, like face palming. I've run into it a couple times when searching for reaction gifs on Twitter, and I'm like, God damn it.
All right,
I don't know if I've talked about this before, but as someone who's been doing this for 10 years, you ever, like... This is a thing that probably only people who do internet stuff know. It's really weird when you're, like, into a specific topic that you talk about online and create content for, because you're also in the spaces where other people enjoy that content. For instance, meme stocks or sovereign citizen stuff. So I'll be in subreddits or Twitter or whatever, where people are talking about these topics, and then suddenly someone will reference something and be like, oh, this streamer, this YouTuber I watch about this said this thing. And then I go, who said that? I said that. And then I went, oh, they're talking about me. Someone didn't plagiarize me, they're referencing me. Or they'll talk about me directly. It's very weird. It makes the world feel like a very small place. That happens to me sometimes. It's odd.
Include your opening remarks.
So hey, if you ever have mentioned me on the internet, I may have seen it. I've seen it a few times. Mostly good.
Well, it concludes the fact that I see that you're not interested or care what the people and the truth of the lawful process of the people. I don't know if anybody else cares to say that. There's no injury and there's no property damage. I do believe
The injury is that you harmed their legal case by pretending to know the law and claim that you could help them with legal advice. That's an injury.
withheld Mr. Gilbert from some money he was probably banking on that day. And I believe the court operates in commerce and is here to make a profit on all of their activities.
Your belief is irrelevant.
So that is my violation. The state of Michigan hated that I blocked an attorney.
This is the most interested I'd ever seen people in, like, the in the gallery area. Gallery? In the court gallery area, that they're just, like, intently watching. God damn, people are normally bored as fuck and don't care. They're just waiting for their turn to go up. Most people are like, what the fuck is happening? Guys, do you know how badly I want something like this to happen in my presence? Why is it never me? Always the stream maid. Never the stream. That doesn't work, but you know what I'm trying to get across. Captain Squid says she packed the gallery with her supporters.
Before Seth was arraigned.
Or just people like us who enjoy a good shit show.
You cannot be bringing me in the hallway downstairs and charging me, and then tell me that you're the true judge of the 53rd Circuit Court when your oath is not properly even administered. I happen to know, I believe, did you take a bar association oath?
I'm not answering questions. Are you done with your opening statement?
I guess I don't really need to be here because this is not
Why'd you show up? If you really believe that, why'd you show up?
a legitimate court that I should be standing in, and I will not violate my own oath by submitting myself to an authority that has not done the proper oath himself.
All right, Ms. Miller, your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people would
Ms.
call.
Bridgman, you may not leave the courtroom.
I know you have people that need to know that they are violating people's unalienable rights by picking them off the street without a single piece of paperwork.
Okay, Ms. Miller, who's your first witness?
We would call
Does
David.
anybody else have a problem with this?
Oh.
Yes.
All right, hang on. There's going to be no outbursts in the courtroom, or you'll have to be removed. All right, Mr. Bird, please raise your right hand. You may not leave the courtroom.
Bold move to prove the charges against you in your opening statement.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so can?
Yes.
Oh, please.
I'd be happy to administer a
Ms.
legitimate oath.
Bridgman, hang on. So the court process works. I gave you both a chance for your opening statements.
This
Hold
is
on,
not a
hold on,
court
hold on.
I can submit to.
Hold on. The process is going to be,
I know
Prosecutor
you like to look
Haba trying to get the defamation trial delayed for Trump, even though he wasn't legally required to be there. But he needs to be so he can whine.
really regal up there and
You know-
How can the
maintain
trial even be fair if he's not allowed to be there to storm out during closing arguments? Obviously.
degree of authority,
Ms.
and you have
Bridgman.
guys carrying guns.
Ms.
I am so chat. If you weren't here earlier, the reason I'm doing an earlier stream today is because friends are doing like a big game day / night at like 2 o'clock. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go be around other human beings IRL again. Jesus Christ.
Bridgman.
I'm fully
It's
aware of
been a
that.
stressful week.
Where are their
I
body
can-
cams and their vehicle
I
cams?
can put you in a jail cell, you can watch it from there.
I know that's what you're hoping to do.
So Ms. Miller is going to be given an opportunity to question the witness, and then you'll be given an opportunity to question the witnesses. That's how court procedure operates. If you interfere with that procedure, you're going to be in direct contempt of court. Ms. Miller, proceed with your question.
I would have to be.
Can you state your name for the record?
David Berg,
And can you spell your last name?
BERG.
Hope you feel
And how are
better
you
soon,
employed?
Stumble.
I'm the IT director for Sheboygan County.
And in that capacity, are you able to see and access the surveillance footage in the building?
Yes, I am.
And are you able to
Why do sovereign citizens think the court is like a consensual dom-sub relationship? Don't say that to me. I don't need a new kink in my life.
pull portions of that video off the server?
Where's
I
my
am.
gavel? Whoa. I need to do... No, nope, that joke. Never mind. Nope.
And were you working that capacity on November 30th, 2023?
Yes.
And are
That
you
brings a whole new meaning to he's a judge, you're fucked.
aware of security footage that was pulled from the system for that date?
Yes, I am.
Do you know what the time frame of that security footage that was
Nearest
pulled
Crow
was?
Hill with 30 months says, I was gonna say you already have. Thank you for your subscription.
8 to 10.
And do you know what part of the building was
The
pulled
safe word is objection. Sustained.
from the system for that time frame?
I believe there were about 5 camera views, mainly downstairs in front of district court in the entryway.
Okay. And did you
Objection!
review
Yellow. Overruled.
this thumb drive prior to sitting here to testify today?
Yes, I did.
And does everything on this thumb drive, was that pulled from the system from November 30th?
Objection, this is all hearsay. Anything that is on that video is all hearsay.
It hasn't been offered into evidence yet, so hold on a second.
So you were able to view everything on the thumb drive?
Yes.
And was that all footage from those cameras from November 30th?
Hearsay.
Yes, it was.
It hasn't been offered.
Okay, one more. You bring your partner to climax. I rest my case. Okay, done.
Into evidence yet.
Sorry.
And
No, I know your presumptions are that if it's set in court and it's not objected, it becomes presumptive evidence.
All he said is that he reviewed it. So continue.
and did it appear to be
She is leading the
edited in
witness.
any way?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Did
Yeah,
it
the
appear to be
lady,
edited
you
in
can
any
see
way?
her now. The lady in sort of like the green, she's standing right behind where the defendant table is. Green sort of shawl with the black top. Yeah, blonde hair.
Oh, software that we have does not allow us to edit.
So it's the full.
Oh yeah, she did say the video evidence is hearsay. That's not what hearsay is. Hearsay, which to be clear, there are many hearsay objections. So there are specific instances in which hearsay can be admitted given approval from the judge, if they fall under specific hearsay objections. But anyway, hearsay is basically when you say, I heard this person say this. It's hearsay. It's a not something you directly observed, but something that you got from a secondary source, basically. A video cannot be hearsay. It would be hearsay if someone said, I saw a video that said this thing and no one had the video. That would be hearsay because they're saying a thing that's not observable by anyone else. But like, actually that one, would that? I don't know. Lawyer. Are there any lawyers in the chat? What would that be? But anyway, a video that they have in court would never, ever, ever be hearsay because it is a piece of evidence they are showing you. It can't be hearsay. They're showing it to you.
Full capture of that
Yes.
time frame.
Yes.
Okay, I'd move to admit People's Exhibit 1.
Okay, Exhibit 1 has been offered for admission. Ms. Bridgman, do you have an objection?
Sorry.
I have an objection that anything in the hallway is going to be considered contempt of court.
Hearsay has to be testimony, not actual evidence. Thank you.
Okay, it is, I'm gonna presume that that's an objection as to relevance. It is relevant, objection overruled. Exhibit 1 submitted.
Thank you.
So
That's a funny objection. Objection, relevance. The relevance is its video of you allegedly committing the crime.
my honor,
Objection, grounds. It's devastating to my case.
can we move to settle this? Because I know your main objective is to get me into jail.
No, it's not! Their objective is to do their fucking job. Like, is he annoyed with you? Almost certainly. I think what he wants right now is you not to be in his courtroom. But it's his job, so he's got to deal with this.
Constitutionally again.
This video goes on for an hour, by the way. This is an hour of his fucking day. Like, an eighth of his day is this shit.
Ms. Bridgman,
Eighth of his work day, assuming he has like an 8-hour shift. I don't know how long judges are usually on for.
I assure you that is not my objective today. If it is your objective,
Why is the evidence of me stabbing the man relevant to my attempted murder charge?
there's easy ways that you can make that happen by continuing to behave the way that you are. But I assure you that is not my intention today. All right, so 1 submitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. The time frame on the video is 2 hours. I don't think the court wants to, I don't want to show the full 2-hour video. If I would be allowed to present various snippets of relevant time from the video.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so Ms. Bridgman, Ms. Miller's going to play portions of the security footage for the court. I'm not sure if you're able to see it from where you are standing. Again, I invite you, you're welcome to sit at the table where you can see the footage.
I was there, Your Honor, and before the living God, I know what's on that video, and I have not.
Thank you for corroborating that this tape is indeed accurate in the events that it is showing. Moving on.
Not violated or broken any laws. I have stood in the way of your Commerce Court, so I understand that that's a contempt of court charge because you're a for-profit court.
Yeah, go ahead.
And for the record, my office did contact Ms. Bridgman to offer to give her a copy of the flash drive or have put on a flash drive for her, and she indicated that she did not want a copy.
Okay, go ahead and play.
Well, then I can just reserve to show the clips in case we need to later on. Then I have no further questions for Mr. Burke.
All right, Ms. Bridgman, do you have any questions for the witness?
Oh, she's standing like in the aisle now.
When's the last time you were at Salvation Army with your daughter?
Couple weeks ago.
What? When's the last time you were at Salvation Army with your daughter? Is she stalking the judge? Is she stalking the judge and his daughter? Oh no, that's not a good thing to do.
When's the last time you were at Salvation Army with your daughter?
Couple weeks ago.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it.
What the fuck?
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, asked to the witness? Gotcha. I was confused.
Your
Is
next
she just trying to be funny? Did she see him? What the fuck?
witness.
Thank you, other people would call Seth Flores.
Now, Your Honor, before you call the next witness, I would love to be in honor in your courtroom. And I would ask that we would settle to save this young man.
We're in the middle of it here. Mr. Flores, would you please raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir. Okay.
Can you state your name for the record?
Seth Flores,
And can you spell your last name?
FLORES.
Okay, thank you. And were you present in this building on November 30th, 2023?
Yes, I believe so.
Why did you come to the building on that day?
I had a court date for an arraignment.
This is the kid I was talking about. This is who she was having as a quote-unquote client of her bullshit legal services.
Okay, do you remember what time you showed up at the court?
I think around 10, maybe.
Like, this kid looks like 16. Like, I don't know how, if they said how old, but like, this sucks. Like, this kid is not old enough to be, you know, she's grifting a child, basically. This is gross.
And when you came into the building, what happened?
walked in, Beth approached me. Seemed like she wanted to help me. She told me I didn't need a lawyer.
How does being a sovereign citizen start this low in age? Because young people are easily manipulated. Not only young people, but like in the cross section of like easier to manipulate, young is not unhelpful.
The judge suggested that I should talk to one.
Okay, can I stop you for a minute? You said Beth approached you. Do you see Beth in the courtroom today?
Yeah.
What's she wearing?
Jacket.
I asked the court to, for the record to reflect that, Mr. Flores identified Ms. Bridgman.
And the district court is clerking it. They're telling me they're having a hard time hearing the witness. Mr. Flores, can you speak up and use your outside voice?
Yeah.
Should I repeat the question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And so before you walked into the building on the 30th, did you know Beth?
No.
You just met her on that day?
Yeah.
And when you went into the courtroom, did anyone go with you?
No.
You don't remember anyone being in the courtroom with you?
They didn't walk in with me, or
I guess I can clarify. Once you were in the building and then you went into the room where the judge is, did anyone go
Okay,
with you
leading
into
the
that
witness,
building?
come on.
She's clarifying. It's a clarification of the question.
But that's just laying overruled. Go ahead.
yes, I walked in the courtroom.
Did he just escape from a boy band?
I thought you would have prepped them better than this page.
Ms. Bridgman, that is not a proper objection. That's an interjection. That's disorderly. Don't do that. I know you're an adult human being, so you're capable of controlling yourself. So please do so. This is
he has a much rosier understanding of adult human beings than I do. Oh boy.
a format that has to be dignified and follow proper procedures and be orderly.
Okay, you just made my case, Judge, because your oath is not properly in order.
Mr. Flores, so just to repeat, when you went into the room with the judge, did anyone go with you?
Just Beth.
Okay. And at some point when you were in the room, do you remember if Beth said anything to the judge?
That I didn't need a lawyer.
I didn't say that in the court.
Hang on, you
Leading the
can't.
witness.
He knew that.
You're putting words in.
Yelling at the yeah, she said this. I did not. Yeah, that's how court works. Just yell, yell at the witness. This is painful.
You'll have an opportunity to ask questions, but you can't interject during.
Well,
Have they done a Law and Order episode based on Daryl Brooks from the Waukesha parade incident? Because Law and Order does that thing where they do ripped from the headlines. And by the way, Law and Order sucks. It's propaganda. I don't like it. But like, it's a very prolific show, and they do this regularly. Well, they'll take real famous crimes and court cases and like adapt them. Have they done that for the Daryl Brooks thing? Seems like the kind of thing they'd do. And I'd be very curious how a dog shit Dick Wolf production portrayed sovereign citizens.
Have to object.
Okay. And then at some point,
To be clear, if you like Law and Order, it's fine as long as you recognize it's propaganda.
did the judge tell you to
We all partake in media that's problematic. What's important isn't never doing it. It's being able to look at and go, this thing is problematic.
do anything?
And watching it, whatever, as long as it's not entirely dog shit.
Speak to a lawyer.
Okay. Did you ever
I do.
speak to a lawyer on that day?
That's good.
What's your objection?
House is Dr. Ganda. Ash, thanks for 14 months.
She's just leading. She's taking them through every step, which I can refute. And
Okay, then do it on cross. What are you doing? If you can refute this, do it on cross-examination when it's your turn to talk.
she's telling them, you should have done this prior, Paige. You should have had them in here earlier and prepped them.
She asked him a question.
This isn't prep.
Did this happen? And he said, yes, that's perfectly.
That's
proper
leading.
procedure. That is
No,
not
she
leading.
should ask him.
Objection.
Arguing with the judge that it's leading after he already ruled. Oh my god.
What happened?
Do you recall what happened when you tried to, or when an attorney approached you in the hallway?
Beth tried speaking to him and wouldn't let him speak to me.
Turn your phone off.
Do you remember who that lawyer was?
Gilbert,
And were you ever able to talk to Gilbert about your arraignment?
only after,
What do you mean by only after?
like, I don't think I did, maybe like a couple of days or a week after.
Okay, but not on the 30th. Did you ever
No.
talk to Mr. Gilbert?
Not on that day, no.
And did you ever give any paperwork back to the court that morning?
Yes, I did.
Did you write anything on that paper?
Can we ask him what he did?
Not now,
Objection.
because it's not your turn.
She is overruled.
No, she's not.
This lady sucks.
Did you write anything on that paper?
Can we ask him what he did? Objection.
She is overruled.
No, she's not.
Wow, she is so fucking rude.
I'm not completely sure what I wrote on the ticket.
Did you get legal
Something
lessons from
about-
these two? Is this gonna be, oh god.
Like what?
Okay. Oh, I think I see this.
Me what was stolen?
My wallet.
What was in your wallet?
It was $50.
Okay.
I had to replace all my IDs. I had gift cards in there, my earpiece, and a calculator.
There was no earpiece in there, ma'am.
I love it. I love it. Judging for the plaintiff for the amount of $500. That's what I think it's worth, madam. Goodbye.
What a dumbass. That's actually brilliant. That's brilliant. I don't know if she did that intentionally to like trip him up or if it was just a fucking hilarious accident, but goddamn. Goddamn, some people. The judge is gonna have a hell of a headache after dealing with this case. Oh, I bet. I bet.
Personal vehicle, or it wasn't my personal vehicle and I wasn't driving.
Why did you write that on your ticket?
That suggested me to.
At least it's just Judge Judy. It's arbitration. Doesn't fucking matter, but...
And does that mean anything to you, what you wrote on the paper?
Not necessarily.
It's a funny illustration how people can put their foot in their mouth, though. There's a reason the Fifth Amendment exists.
So you said that Beth suggested that you write that on your ticket?
Yes.
And what did you do with the ticket after you wrote on it?
I think I turned it into the civil court desk.
But you don't have a transcriber, you have to keep all the notes yourself. Or is that-
Oh my god, stop talking out of turn! This is court! This is so frustrating!
So
Ms. Bridgford, that's not a proper objection. Stop misbehaving. You know how to behave. Behave.
I'm not sure I'm the only one in bad behavior, Your Honor, according to Article 2 or Article
Oh my
3,
god, she's
Section
walking around!
Board.
What the fuck? Are you,
Go
what are
ahead.
you doing?
You might be in bad behavior.
She's in this... This is ridiculous. I can't believe he's letting this happen. This is absurd. He has lost fucking control of this goddamn court. Oh.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Once you hand it to the bailiff, we'll have to do it.
Honestly, that's probably smart on his part. Because I don't think he has any... Like, if it was any other defendant, I don't think he would have a problem with this prosecuting attorney approaching the witness with the piece of evidence to read. I think he is aware that if he lets her approach the witness, then the defendant is going to ask to approach the witness. And of course he doesn't want that because she's like loopy and like she's unpredictable. So he doesn't want that. So he's going to try and preempt by being fair and not letting her approach either. If that makes sense. Like, I think he thought to himself, I better say no to her, because later the other lady's going to ask, and I'll say no to her, and that way she can't say, well, you let her approach. Speculation, but that's the vibe I was getting there with that answer. Because the defense attorney, or rather prosecuting attorney, actually looked surprised that he said no. Because I assume he would normally say yes. It seems like a small jurisdiction. I'm assuming she's worked with this judge before and been before him. Probably doesn't normally care, but the situation calls for stricter decorum. Did someone check her house for lead paint? I don't think she's been licking the walls, even if it did, so.
And is that your handwriting on it? Is that what you turned into the court?
I believe so.
Your Honor, I guess I would ask the court to take judicial notice of the ticket. I believe it's in the court's file already on what Mr. Flores turned into the district window on November 30th.
She's wandering.
It is or not, but I'll also take judicial notice of the court's own records. Do you have it marked as an exhibit?
I do.
Is it, what number is it?
It's exhibit 2.
2 will be admitted.
Thank you. And then after you gave your ticket to the window, what did you do next?
I was advised to leave.
Who advised you to leave?
So
At that point, did you leave?
yeah.
At any point in that morning, did you address the court on your ticket?
No, I did not.
And after you initially were told to meet with an attorney, did you ever go back into the courtroom?
I think about a week later.
Okay, but that day, did you ever go back?
No.
And following leaving the courtroom, what did you do after that?
Just went out and got some lunch.
Okay, who did you do that with? Do you remember where that was?
Not really sure. Libby's maybe.
Okay, and then
Sorry, Mr. Flores, you're really gonna have to use your outside voice.
and while you were at lunch, did Ms. Bridgman ever give you any money?
No. Oh, for my phone, gas.
So did she give you any money?
Yeah,
How much money did she give you?
$60.
And what was that, $60 in cash?
Yes.
And that occurred after the same day as the court arraignment in the morning?
That's so much worse. Is she not even taking money from them? She legitimately thinks she's helping these people when she's actually ruining their fucking lives? I don't know if is that better or worse? I'm glad that she's maybe not a grifter. Scary that she thinks she's doing the right thing. People who think they're doing the right thing when they're doing a bad thing are the scariest. Let me tell you.
I believe so.
So we'll call the matter in the matter.
You remember?
Or we were talking and then we went out.
And that occurred after the same day as the court arraignment in the morning?
I believe so.
All right, Ms. Richmond, do you have any questions for Mr. Flores?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Good to see you, sir. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances. The way I recall it, you were talking to some of my friends before we talked. Or we were talking and then we went out into the hallway, but.
Okay.
Question? That's not a question.
Sure. You'll have a chance to offer testimony under oath if you want, but you just made a statement about your recollection.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can ask questions of this witness.
Okay, Seth. Let's see, did I injure you in any way that day?
No.
That's the question at hand. That's conclusory. Oh God. Oh. The court's supposed to answer the question of like fact here. The question at hand is, oh God. She basically just asked, am I guilty of this crime? You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that.
Did I cause you to lose money in any way that day?
No.
Did you tell me?
See, that
about-
question's probably okay because there's an implication there, but it doesn't directly ask, did I? Okay.
What Deputy Dukowski had been saying to you on your 2 other MIPs?
The problem is it's
Yeah.
not a jury trial. This is a bench trial, and the judge knows that the the definition of injury she is using here is not the legal definition.
Yes.
She thinks it means, did I, like, punch you in the face? Did I break your arm? Did I cut you? It's not what injury means. Those are examples of kinds of injuries, but not all injuries in the legal sense are physical in nature.
Did I suggest or had, offer some information to you that you had willingly, as a passenger in a vehicle, surrendered all of your God-given rights, and you did not need to do that?
Yeah.
And that you have the right to stand up under common law. And
she's just trying to get her Sovset spiel. Is she here fishing for new clients? Like, what is she doing? Like, I don't even understand. I don't even think she thinks she's gonna win at this point. She's just trying to make some kind of point.
Not be placed through tyrannical police measures.
Yes.
Did you tell me what Officer Dukowski said when he pulled you over? What was the reason he pulled you over that night?
He did not state a reason.
Was it something about on Butler Road in the, what I could recall?
Believe he
Phoenix leftist, thanks for 20 months.
told us, or the driver, my friend, that he crossed the center line.
I believe you had told me the white line.
Yeah.
The white line, which is not the center line. And there are no white lines out there on Butler when you turn off. How far did Deputy Dukowski follow you that night?
Your Honor, I guess I'd object to the relevance of the question.
I'll overrule it. Go ahead and answer the question.
From Subway to Butler Road. They said that we crossed the line by Subway, but I don't recall.
Okay. I recall you, and listen, I know this was a high stress
I don't
environment
get the saying no reason, but then stating the reason. Like, what? Like, I don't get it.
for you, okay? And I have many friends in town who have gone through this same thing.
I guess.
Objection.
And so,
Well, I think she's laying the groundwork for a question.
I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. The judge knows what he's doing. That feels weird to me, though. I never feel like I've heard a lawyer get away with saying something like this. The implication being that, like, this whole system's corrupt. Like, I get it, police are corrupt, but generally I feel like you're really, really, really not supposed to be, like, the implication being that this kid on the stand was somehow fucked with by the police just cause. Because the police in general suck. Like, I don't know, I don't disagree generally that the police suck, but that's not generally what testimony or questioning is supposed to be. She's leading and implying things through the questions. Again, it's not a jury trial, so the judge is just gonna be like, whatever, this is stupid, but, you know, you're still not supposed to do it.
because
You have to end up at a question.
if you've gone through 3 years of COVID in the schools and complied with everything.
Fucking what? God damn it. Of course we're here. Of course we're here. Of course we're here. Of course we're at anti-vaxxer shit again. What the fuck? What the fuck?
You're very compliant. He did comply with me. I offered him liberty. You offered him, maybe Dukowski talked about
Are we getting to a goddamn question?
taking his vehicle. Is that right? Are those the terms you had told me?
Yes.
Yeah. As a passenger, did you really have to surrender to all those things that you cooperated with them on?
No.
No.
Not completely.
No. And so was I offering, I know that this county doesn't like common law.
Oh my god, objection! Objection!
Actually still on the books, and it's a natural recourse. And there are plenty of laws that say if nobody's hurt and nobody was injured, there is no crime.
No! No! I think she's trying to cite corpus delicti here and completely not understanding it. Corpus delicti is the idea that in order for someone to be charged with a crime, there needs to be evidence that a crime occurred. Corpus delicti literally means like the body of the evidence. So like in a crime, for instance, if you found a dead body, well, that's a corpus delicti right there. It's a literal dead body, but it's not the fact that it's a body. You could find, I don't know, an empty bank vault. That is a corpus delicti. It's a body of the evidence because you have a bank vault that was full of money that is now gone, right? It's evidence a crime occurred. And sovereign citizens will take this literally and mean if no one is injured or killed physically, then no crime could have occurred. That's not how it works. They're playing word games. It's that semantic obsession that you see in conspiracy theorists contorted into this.
So I was suggesting that you stand up for your rights for once, because I don't even know where you guys got the alcohol.
Is this
Can you
in
tell
there?
me where you got the
There
alcohol?
you go. Ask questions.
Can you tell me where you got the alcohol?
Well, hold on. I'm not gonna.
Oh my god, is that guy in the back row vaping? Sorry, he put something in his mouth and it looks like he went but like, it could just be a pen. He might just have a pen in his mouth. But the idea that someone in the back of this courtroom is hitting a fat vape is so funny to me.
Have you asked Mr. Flores any more about the underlying substance of his
Wow,
case?
he's really going at it, huh? Yeah, I don't
Because
think
he
that's a
would
vape.
have certain
I just think he has an oral fixation.
privilege rights against self-incrimination.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Asking a witness to self-incriminate, yeah.
You had just gotten off work, is that right?
No,
How long had you been off work?
probably a couple hours. I got off around 8.
And it was what time were you picked up?
Again, I guess, I will go back and sustain the earlier objection. What happened during the traffic stop with Mr. Flores is not relevant to the question of whether you unlawfully gave him legal advice at the courthouse or interfered with his arraignments or failed to appear for the show cause.
So stay with me,
that's
Your
relevant.
Honor, because I
relevant.
believe there were some deals cut
What?
in order to target me.
What do you mean believe? Based on what?
Well, ask him that.
Do you have evidence? Do you have evidence to submit to the court about that?
Ask him if
Okay.
he knows of any deals.
Were
that
there
were cut
any
or
deals
whatever.
made to keep somebody that you love from harm if you testified against me?
No, we had the court date and, the charges were dropped to two civil infractions. And then after, the court case, I was sent a letter in the mail to, be here today to testify.
So were you charged with anything after they sent you the letter? Because I remember you called me that night, or you messaged me that night and said they sent you a letter in the mail
That was,
to pull you back into their jurisdiction like they did me, only they arrested me, so yes.
that was previous.
The prosecuting attorney is just flabbergasted. Like, it looks like she accidentally took the wrong brownie. Like, she thought she was eating normal brownies this morning, but before she came to court, she grabbed brownies from the wrong tray. Like, she just can't believe what she's watching. Oh. No, Peter, I've never heard talk about sovereign citizen stuff.
Like they did me, only they arrested me, so yes.
That was previous letters from the court.
That had shown up. But it worried you. It
Yeah.
worried you. I know it worried you. What did I suggest that you do? Because I don't know how parents leave kids and the first thing kids should do is text their mom and dad, get over here. I got the cops pulling me over again in the middle of the night. Now you had told me that you were.
That's not a good idea, probably. Like, letting your parents know, but the parents coming down to the traffic stop, that's not going to be good, probably.
Pulled over at 3 a.m. Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Again, I would object about the underlying case.
Right, but again, the facts and circumstances of his, of the stop are not relevant, it's just.
I believe that we're protecting somebody here, Your Honor. I think it is pertinent. And I'm not afraid to go down as the bad person, even though I didn't harm Seth and I didn't
Yeah, you did.
cause him any property damage. Is that right, Seth?
Oh my god, property damage is not the only kind of injury.
Well, that, he did say that. I do want to ask you, Mr. Flores, you said that it was just dropped to 2 civil infractions. Was that conditioned in any way on your offering testimony in this matter?
No.
All right, go ahead and continue.
Sorry for the eating, by the way. My meds, if I don't eat anything with them, I get really nauseous. And like sometimes I do that and I forget. And then I like dry heave and it's disgusting. So that was the desk cookie. The desk cookie was so I had something in my stomach.
Well, I know it can be subtle, right, Seth? Would you say that when you're in authority's presence, you are probably...
I'm taking mine. Here's the tea blocker.
Going through some form of high anxiety?
Yes, I'm nervous when I get pulled over.
Yes. And do you know that people can completely forget? I've worked with at-risk kids, taking tests and everything else, and they can completely forget what has occurred. And they're open to suggestions. And I know how to calm kids down. And was I not willing to stand with you if you were going to be pulled over?
None of this has to do with anything. It's like it seems like the narrative she wants to like pull here is I was justified in what I was doing because he was mistreated, and it's like, first of all, I don't think that that's true. But secondly, even if it was, it has no relevance to what you're actually being charged with. It has nothing to do with anything he did. What matters is he was charged with a infraction of some kind, of traffic something or a crime, I don't know. And you tried to be his lawyer without being a lawyer. You have not passed the bar. So that's illegal. Like, it just doesn't matter what he did. It matters to him in his case, but in this case what matters is the law you allegedly broke. The circumstances of his situation are irrelevant.
Did I not tell you if the house...
Like, he could literally be, like, it wouldn't matter if the police literally on videotape were caught manufacturing evidence, like Mark Furman style, you know what I mean? No. It doesn't matter, because you are still trying to practice law when you are not a lawyer. It doesn't matter if he was innocent and being fucked over. That doesn't mean you get the right to practice law as a non-lawyer. How is this hard to get?
He came at you for the 4th time to get a hold of me?
Yeah, I felt more confident.
Bits. Hello Hannah, so happy you're streaming. Missed you. Thank you. I miss streaming too. I feel really good, now that I'm kind of getting back into it, which is nice. I missed it. I really did. I was burnt out anyway, honestly. I was so burnt out about so many things. I don't know. I'm just glad I got some resolution on some stuff that had been fucking me up for a while, and, I don't know. Turned the page. New chapter, new book. I'm gonna... First of all, I'm taking my estrogen, so this goes under my tongue and I have to hold it there. So I'm gonna talk a little weird for a little bit. Sorry about that, but my hormones are more important than you understanding me clearly. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna pee. But I'll be right back, okay? Everyone be cool, chill with chair, and, I don't know. Where's the thing? Here. Is it gonna work? Why does this never work the first time, god damn it? Okay, well my DVD screensaver thing doesn't want to work. Works like half the goddamn time. Anyone? No? Okay, doesn't want to work. Be right back, though. Oh, the thing's all out. That's good. Hey, everyone. Bergen says, bits for the tear. Thank you. Again, if you just got here, I have medication in my mouth. It's dissolving. It'll be done soon.
And after that, but I'm still nervous when cops pull me over, even when I'm not in the wrong.
Is it possible?
I mean, sure, fair. It's not relevant to this.
Because of your high anxiety around, and this, you're not alone in this, dude. I can show you a dozen people in this room at least who have high anxiety around this place and anything having to do with it. And these gentlemen, is it possible that some of your
G-Taro,
memory
25
today
months says, praise Paul.
is
This is not how I normally sound. Correct.
not exactly right?
Maybe not.
Chair feet picks when you couldn't handle this chair's feet.
100%.
Do you think I felt I needed to protect you and Gilbert? Because I knew what Gilbert was trying to do. He was trying to put you back in their jurisdiction. They were trying to make money off of you. And
if you commit a crime because you think you're trying to help someone, you know what you've done? A crime!
I was preventing that, right?
I felt guided almost.
You felt what?
I felt guided almost because nobody was really telling me what to do.
That's not helpful to your case.
Yeah.
Hers, I mean.
So there were a few details that I would say I recollect differently, but I would no more put any of my friends in the jurisdiction of his authority and this court's authority and subpoenas and bonds and everything else to testify against you.
Okay, that's not the
Because
question.
I don't
Ask your
care, Your
question.
Honor. I'm here to protect Seth.
All right.
I don't care, Your Honor. She's grandstanding for her clients that are in the audience. This is bullshit.
And anybody else?
Can you redirect?
Yes. Mr. Flores, do you recall when you came back to the court after that arraignment day?
Maybe a week after.
Okay, at that point, do you recall if you resolved your underlying case with civil infractions?
Yes, we did that day.
Okay.
This wasn't a use of battery, there's use of codes.
Hang on,
and statutes.
Mister, you'll have to leave the court.
I'm out of here.
Oh my god, someone in the crowd is yelling. Holy shit. What a circus. What a circus.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh, she knew his name. One of hers. I'm not shocked. Kind of surprised she acknowledged it in front of everyone that was one of her people, but okay.
So you resolved your case of civil infractions, you said a week after?
Yes.
And then at some point did
Boy, it's almost like decorum in the court exists for a reason, because when stuff starts getting out of control, people feel more comfortable doing outbursts that they aren't allowed to do.
you come for did the court issue a show of cause against you?
I can't recall.
Okay, do you remember if there was another hearing that was held after you?
Are we not just leaving
entered
and
your
then I
show
just
copy?
substantiate that
Hang on, the
by
question, the
right
objection
environment,
was.
people forget?
Hang
Look
on,
at
the-
her. She's walking around. The cock of the goddamn walk. Look at her. She's strutting. She is doing a show for her fucking clients. She knows she's gonna lose, but she's trying to do a show that she's standing up to the court, quote unquote, to her clients. This is so fucking blatant.
Objection was leading, that is a leading question.
Like, in her head, the music is swelling. She believes she's in the climax of a legal drama, and she's killing it right now. No, this is terrible. What did I miss? Jitara says, sorry, I'm very late to the stream. What did this guy even do? He is a witness, actually. He's a witness. The, woman who's kind of walking around in the aisle, she's actually the defendant and questioning him. Well, not anymore. Her cross is over, but she's just yelling things. She's the pigeon the prosecutor's playing chess with. I understood that.
After the.
Hang on, the question, there was an objection to the question, I sustained it. So
Hopefully she won't shit on the board.
So did you provide testimony in your underlying case at some other time, other than today?
During the civil infractions, when I got charged.
Okay, do you remember what the date was?
I do not, I do not know the date. I think it was December, sometime December.
But you don't remember why you were testifying?
I don't recall.
And you said earlier that you felt guided while you were dealing with Miss Bridgman. Who did you feel was guiding you?
Miss Bridgman, because nobody really directed me where to go.
Oh, that's not helpful to her case. So you're telling me that this woman directed you with legal advice despite not being an attorney?
It was one of my first experiences here, so I didn't really know what was going on.
Do you remember if the judge ever told you where to go?
After we entered the courtroom, he advised that I should talk to a lawyer.
But at that point, did you already feel guided?
I kind of felt I didn't know who to trust.
I think this is kind of an asked and answered.
Okay. I don't have any more questions then.
All right, Mr. Flores, thank you for your testimony. Any additional witnesses, Ms. Stone?
Yes, Your Honor, the people would call Mr. Gilbert.
This is part of the bar. Click. Let's do this, Jim.
Gilbert, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
She's harassing his attorney? I didn't hear what she said. This is apparently the kid's actual attorney, the one with a law degree.
Your Honor, the people would call Mr. Gilbert.
This is part of the bar. Click. Let's do this, Jim.
This is part of the bar. You don't have to do this, Jim, which I assume Jim is the lawyer. She's basically trying to act as though the lawyer that's about to go talk on the stand, who is actually trying to defend the kid, acting as though he's evil, even though I'm sure he's trying to do his best to be a zealous advocate for his client.
Gilbert, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Can you state your name for the record?
James Gilbert.
And how are you employed?
Primarily, I am a public defender for Sheboygan and Presque County.
And were you working in that capacity on November 30th, 2023?
I was the MIDC arraignment attorney that day, plus I had my own caseload.
He looks
Are you
overwhelmed.
familiar with Seth Flores?
Yes, I met him. Yeah.
How are you familiar?
I knew him briefly that day. Because
Isn't this all hearsay?
This is case.
What? He's literally talking about meeting the kid, things he experienced.
In the video, oh, because he's a qualified bar
What does she think hearsay is?
association member.
No, he's testifying from his personal knowledge, so that objection is overruled. Go ahead.
And then I later met him on a one-on-one level after his mother brought him back into the county building a few days or a week later.
Okay, so back on the 30th, did you ever meet with Mr. Flores?
Not one-on-one.
Did you ever attempt to meet with Mr. Flores?
I did.
Can you tell me about that attempt?
Oh, yes, I
Look
was
at
in the
she's walking in the
courtroom
middle
and
again.
at
She's
some,
just wandering the courtroom. This judge, I get it. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I am firmly on the side of being very, like, open and understanding. I understand that people come from different places and people have different reasons they believe different conspiratorial things, so I don't think cracking down immediately and being like, fuck you, stop it, helps, because that gives them a persecution complex and can make things more difficult. But on the other hand, you have this, where he's letting it go so far that he has no goddamn control of the courtroom. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
at some point in time, his case was called and
How is she not being threatened with contempt of court? She already had a contempt of court charge, and I think the judge just wants this to be over, so he's just dealing with it so he can fucking charge her for the actual crime. H-Baird says, this is like racists who think pointing out that something they said is racist is an ad hominem attack, and thus in their mind they always win. Yeah.
And usually what happens,
their argument boils down to, but have you considered racism is good actually? No, because it's not. It's not.
is the people as they come in go up to our office on this floor, and we meet with them there before their arraignment to tell them what's going to happen. I had not met with Mr. Florence. He was in the courtroom. Judge Visna called his case and asked if he had met with the arraignment attorney. He said no, and Judge Visna told him that he should meet with me. And then what happened was there was another gentleman in the room that made some comment about I wasn't going to represent him, and just to tell the court that I wasn't going to meet with them. I said I can't do that. I need to finish up with a couple of cases, and I'd be out for Halloween to meet with them. And a little bit later, I attempted to do that.
Wow.
Can you tell me about the attempt in the hallway?
Yes, I walked out into the hallway,
Hey, comrade
and Mr. Florence was there with the lady that's here in the courtroom, and
The woman, the living soul.
okay. But on 3 attempts, I tried
laughing at her on the stand.
to talk to Mr. Florence, and each time I was interrupted, wasn't allowed to talk to him.
If you don't know what the living soul thing is, sovereign citizens believe that there is a legal distinction between you as the actual human soul, human being, and a contractual straw man legal version of yourself. There's no such distinction. It's an arbitrary fantasy mythology that they have concocted in order to try and justify their wants. So what you need to understand is not so much why they believe it, but the fact that what they believe isn't about what's true as much as it is about serving their particular wants and ends. So it's not that they have a logical reason to believe that as much as it's a hypothetical story in which they believe they get to do whatever they want. It's a mythology constructed with the end goal of not having laws apply to them that they don't want to follow. So everything else is just means to that end.
And who interrupted you?
The woman in the courtroom, the
Screaming at the radio, thanks for 75 bits.
green jacket, her coat.
Okay, isn't this some kind of bar association star chamber thing we got going on here?
What is this? Some kind of bar association star chamber thing we got going on here? I love when they surprise me. I love when I hear a new thing and I go, am I going to have to figure out what the fuck this is? I do not know what she meant by star chamber. That is a part of the mythology I have not heard before. I have no idea what the fuck a star chamber is supposed to be. They think that the Bar Association is like a secret arm of the British government. So I understood that part, but I don't understand the Star Chamber thing.
Wow.
Have you seen the movie Star Chamber? I have not.
Ms. Bridgman's testimony under oath, and you'll have a chance for cross-examination.
Okay, I just...
I didn't understand a movie reference? Oh no. That's one of the portents of the end, right? That's probably not good. Is there an asteroid about to pass us by? Maybe stock up on canned goods. Star Chamber is the room where the cardinals select the Pope. Thank you. Helpful.
Validated your oath. What does testimony under oath mean in this county?
Ms. Bridgman, I mean, I've warned you repeatedly. I don't know if you're having some enjoyment out of that, but I really want you to participate in the courtroom fully from this. If you continue to
I know.
disrupt it, I'll have you watch it from a jail cell over video and I'll mute
It's such
you.
a secret trial that they're broadcasting it on the internet.
You can just
So
listen.
nefarious.
But I don't want to do that. I want you to participate fully. Will you please cooperate with me in that and let the process go forward? I mean, we got to have a hearing, so.
I see what, I
A
see
star
what you
chamber
did
is something
here.
that determines guilt without a hearing. So
I'd
we're
like to
having a
see
hearing. Go
Gilbert's
ahead
oath
with
of
the next
office.
question.
And I got yours.
So you said you were interrupted 3 times, is that what you said?
That's correct.
Okay, at some point, or what did you do after that?
After that, I just, I went back up to our office and at that time, there was like the person that's in charge was a gentleman, and Mr. Keogh, I just reported what had happened. And pretty much that was it. I learned later that Mr. Florence had left the building.
Okay, and then did you, so at any point, did you assist Mr. Flores with an arraignment on that date?
I did not.
And at
What
any
is she
point were you
doing? She's in the back talking with someone. Just some random fucking guy. What is she doing?
able to go over the facts of his case?
Oh my god, she's like talking with this other guy.
It comes down 3 times.
Oh, it's a
and
hug.
I
She's
don't
getting
remember
a hug
the exact order.
in the middle of someone's testimony.
I, at one point, tried to explain in the hallway what my job was. The lady, here, Ms. Bridgman, interrupted me at one point in time and said, no, his job is to scare the hell out of you. That was one time. She interrupted. I tried again. I was told that Mr. Florence was not going to contract with me. And I thought the two of them worked together. And then there was a third time I was interrupted and I basically said, okay, I'm done.
And then at some point later, you met with Mr. Flores?
That was a couple days later, a couple days or possibly a week.
And
I don't remember exactly.
do you recall if there was any other hearings in his case?
I was subpoenaed, as I was today, for I believe, a show cause hearing for Mr. Florence that I had to testify at, and I believe that was in December,
Do you remember what the underlying show cause was?
for his failure to stay for the arraignment.
And that would have been the arraignment on the 30th.
Correct.
I don't have any more questions for Mr. Gilbert.
Henry91 says, cute and short cat cleanse. Links are okay, thank you.
This is Francine. Francine was born
As long as they're recognizable from like YouTube or TikTok or something, generally it's okay. Like if you send me a link to like some sketch ass thing, no, I'm not gonna click on it. But
the normal amount of brain cells for a black cat, but bet half of them on a game of skee ball at Chuck E. Cheese. Shortly thereafter, she was
and
diagnosed
if you're
with
someone I don't recognize, like I might have someone check it for me first, but
epilepsy after a seizure brought on by eating exclusively hot chips and Diet Mountain Dew zapped the last remaining 2 out of her noggin. But don't worry, she signed up for the Orange Cat Brain Cell Fund and was accepted due to a clerical error. Though she has not yet had her turn, be warned her IQ may reach room temperature if she ever comes up on the list. Francine's favorite activity is just kind of sitting there being a little girl. Second favorite activity is to almost have thoughts. If Francine had a nickel for every idea she's ever had, she would have eaten the nickel. If you were to put your ear to Francine's ear, you would be able to hear the sweet music in her head, a low-poly rendition of Funky Town. If you were wondering, Francine is just as bright as her coat. You may think calling her a void is a reference to her black fur pattern, but it's actually a reference to the vacant, empty space within her skull. Francine is simply a woman with a fork in a world full of soup. In addition to her epilepsy, she's also just a little bit hard of thinking. If you were to replace her brain with TNT, you couldn't make her ears flap. The wheel is spinning, but the hamster is dead. Please don't challenge her to a battle of wits. You know that she is unarmed. She's been applying to local villages, but none of them seem to be hiring at the moment. Here she is, savagely attacking me. Oh my, what's that? It's a brain-sucking alien. Oh no, it's starving.
Any cross-exam questions for Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, so you take a kid who's anxious, gave away all of his inalienable rights when.
No one gave away his rights. Also inalienable. Why do you say it like that?
If he gave his driver's license to Kowski, just violated the law. He was a passenger in the vehicle. And he didn't give accurate testimony, but I'm not going to make him perjure himself.
That's certainly a claim objection. Objection? Did you just say he perjured himself?
Everything you just said does not line up with people that I have here that were there. Do you want me to call witnesses, Your Honor?
Okay, you haven't asked the witness a question.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume you don't want to ask the witness question. Okay.
Was Seth really in the courtroom and arraigned and approached by you in the courtroom?
He was never arraigned. He was in the courtroom, and the judge advised that he needed to speak with me. And I said I had a few more matters. I'd be out in the hallway, and that's where you and him were waiting out in the hallway. That's when I tried to approach Mr. Flores.
Did Seth and I, were we aware that the judge, because was it perhaps that when Seth turned in the paperwork to the clerk of court,
Or is the prosecuting attorney not raising objections? I think everyone just wants this to be over. If it was a jury trial, I think they would. The fact that it's a bench trial and it's just the judge, I think the prosecuting attorney is aware that the judge is hearing all of this and knows it's bullshit, and they're just trying to get this shit over. That would be my guess. Unstable Deadbeat says, Star Chamber is a movie in which a judge becomes involved in an underground organization called Star Chamber who kills people they deem guilty when they are not sentenced in court. Oh. Like Punisher Daredevil Society. Okay. Is it good? Is it a good movie? I've never heard about it. Unalienable rights are given by God, who is arguably an alien, which is why they call it...
that she let...
Excuse me, don't you mean unalienable?
The judge know, and the judge let you know, go out there...
I shouldn't make fun of that. I know I mispronounce things regularly enough. Everyone does. I'm not trying to be a pedantic asshole, but sometimes it's a little funny. Like, I get it.
Get him, and she's talking to him, and you better go get him arraigned. You better go talk to him, because I already had him out there and done before you were ever on the scene.
Done what?
You took all of his inalienable rights, violated
unalienable
due process for the kid, and then you're trying to make him put him in your jurisdiction, and I would
say anathema. I learned it.
Was saving him from that.
Anathema. Occasionally I'll use that word. Thank you.
Because
chat taught me something. Yeah, I don't think she, like, does she know she's just, like, admitting to everything she did? Like, she is literally admitting in her questioning the crime she's being accused of. We're basically getting through 2 videos today. I have to, like, leave as soon as this video's over. But holy shit, what a video. This has been a nutty goddamn Sovsit day.
Question for Mr.
I have like 13 other videos I pulled up for today. I didn't know this was going to be interesting enough to watch the whole thing. This is nuts, though. This is one of the most dysfunctional, like, trials I've ever seen. Like, the Daryl Brooks thing was bigger, but, like, that was a pretty out there circumstance. In terms of, like, day-to-day judicial stuff, this is absurd. I cannot believe this judge is, like, doing this.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Ask
are you prepared to perjure yourself? Oh.
No.
Okay, it's nice that, I'm glad I didn't take a 360.
You just asked a lawyer on the witness stand if you're going to perjure yourself. What if he said yes? Are you planning on perjuring yourself? Yeah, I'm here to perjure myself. Thanks.
Question, I'm going to determine that Ms. Bridgman is elected that she doesn't want to ask.
Okay,
Mr. Gilbert
let me ask him.
She just wants to rail against him. Mr. Gilbert, you can step down.
Yeah, how do you ask questions of when you've all cooked this all up between yourselves?
Ms. Miller, your next witness.
Your Honor, I don't have any further witnesses in this matter.
Okay.
Joke's on you. I'm pretty sure I turned off the Danzy Day redemption. I still have one that I have to give someone else, but then a bunch of shit happened. So the person out there who I owe the Danzy Day to, I didn't forget you, I promise. I'm so sorry. A bunch of shit happened. It was a whole thing. I know I owe you a special stream, which we still have to talk about. I'm sorry.
And
I didn't forget you.
Judicial notice of its own files and the transcript of the arraignment on November 30th, the transcript of the order to show cause on December 21st, and the on the failure to appear to court.
Also, I will be doing another patron-only live show coming up soon because I'm trying to do that more regularly. So let's say Saturday the 10th. This Saturday, we're going to do another patron-only live show. So yeah, if you want to join that, join the Patreon. Patreon.com/HannahReloaded. Funny enough, my Patreon's actually higher this week than it was last week, so. Lilac Rosenberg, thanks for listening.
Yeah, I know why they want to shut down TikTok. Videos like this.
Oh my god, stop it.
This was some.
I'm going to save this because I really want to get through the court video, but I saved it, and we will watch it if we have time today, if not, next opposite thing.
We'll take judicial notice of Ms. Bridgman's returning the order to show up, the order to appear, cut into strips with.
Oh wait, I thought is the Super Bowl on the 10th? I don't know when the Super Bowl is. I can move that. Like, unironically, I know a lot of people watch the Super Bowl. Understatement. I didn't know it was Saturday. I'll look it up. If the Super Bowl is Saturday, then we'll probably do it Sunday.
Writing the offer to contract is not accepted, as well as the statements that she made at.
No, it's Sunday?
her arraignment on the bench floor.
Okay. So
All right,
Saturday.
so Ms. Bridgman,
So this is how
do you have any witnesses that you wish
So Saturday. Next Saturday. Or this Saturday. The 10th.
to present?
It's always Saturday? Or always Sunday, rather? Yeah, I don't know. Football.
I have to say that even being here today and putting myself and submitting myself to your authority that has not been substantiated goes against the one.
I'd say the fact that you're here in court and arguing on your behalf is pretty substantiating to the fact that you really do believe that these people have authority, because if you thought they didn't, why would you show up? Like, if a random person sent me a summons and was like, you are hereby summoned to the court of Teos or Marcel Basset land or whatever fake thing, I just wouldn't go. Like, if you think they don't have authority over you, why in the world would you be listening to their demands? That doesn't make any sense. Man, I was killing it there.
Living God that I respond to. You cannot.
Okay, so I've given you an opportunity.
Want to go stand on what?
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England and can put the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo, in order categorical.
Happened that day. But I don't want anybody to enter your jurisdiction, Your Honor, because,
so you're not
okay,
calling
my honor, let's do it this way.
Hang on. So so I've offered you an opportunity to call witnesses and you've elected not to. Closing arguments, Ms. Miller.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the court find Ms. Bridgman in contempt for the unauthorized, for interfering with Mr. Flores' arraignment from the MIDC and engaging in unauthorized practice of law. There was testimony that Mr. Flores didn't know Ms. Bridgman before he entered the courtroom the courthouse on the 30th, that she approached him, that she was with him when she was with him in the courtroom. She told him that he didn't need a lawyer. She was providing legal advice to him, saying that he didn't need to, he was driving his personal vehicle and he didn't need to engage with the process. He testified that she told him what to write on the ticket to provide to the court. I asked the court to take judicial notice of the ticket with Mr. Flores' writing on it. He testified that once he turned it in, he was advised to leave the building by Ms. Bridgman before he had his arraignment.
So basically, this is all absolution that says that the lady who was on trial here told the young man to do a bunch of bullshit paperwork and turn it in as if that was going to absolve him of all of these alleged crimes he was accused of.
As well. So I would. And then further, the testimony of Mr. Gilbert, that he was the arraignment attorney, that he was in the courtroom when the judge indicated, but also
no due process.
There it is.
Also,
I was wondering if I should interject.
That would also be engaging in giving him legal advice. So I find the court, I'd ask the court to find her contempt on that, and I'd also ask the court to find her contempt for failing to appear on the show cause that was issued to her on the 20th of December. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bridgman, now's your opportunity to make any closing argument that you wish. Go ahead.
I am not in this hearing situation. This has been conducted as what is called a star chamber.
Ma'am, you're it. This is it. This is the trial. This is the closing statement. It's happening. You are in it. You best start believing in ghost stories. You're in one. Ah! Ah!
As all of our founding fathers left because the Bar Association members are arraigned against a witness.
Is she aware that the American legal system is very much based upon the precedents set by the UK judicial system, which itself was adapted from like some Roman stuff? Like there's a lineage, but like our jurisprudence is not UK jurisprudence. There have been centuries of differentiation between the law.
And they have no due process. Has anybody here not witnessed a breach of public trust and due process?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god! She brought an audience to agree with her in court like it's a popularity contest. I wanna vomit. I wanna vomit. For some reason, juggling makes me feel better. It gets that frustrated energy out because I have to focus on this. You got it.
Well, people could judge for themselves. We've conducted a hearing, people can testify.
It's not a hearing, it's a witch hunt.
Hang on. No.
There was no.
Conclude your closing argument. All right. Any further outbursts, you'll have to leave or you'll be taken into custody.
So practicing law, none of you have an actual license to practice law. Did you know that, right? A bar association membership is not a license. You're not registered on LARA. The state's.
You pass the bar, though. You pass the bar exam, and you get accreditation from that. Like, there is a difference between, like, bar associations and passing the bar, to be clear.
Licensing administration. You're not registered. Your primary oath is to the bar association. We know about your secret commitments to one another and not to follow the unalienable rights of the people and due process.
Thanks to the people's court.
This is not, you have just set up a star chamber and you've got guys with guns ready to carry out whatever you want, and you have not even taken enough care about the people and your situation in the court to execute a proper oath.
Bittergrin says the original Star Chamber was a British court used for nobles, but according to Wikipedia, in modern times, legal or administrative bodies with strict arbitrary rulings, no due process rights to those accused, and secretive proceedings are sometimes metaphorically called Star Chambers. So like Cardassian court. Yeah, Cardassian court. That escalated quickly. It always does.
You should have had somebody swear that oath to you. You can't sign your own oath and have it notarized. You did that with the prosecutor. You have to have somebody who swore you in signing it and then a notary. It takes 3 people.
The lawyer's face
should not be submitted. If somebody is practicing law
Cardassian as in Star Trek, correct.
The license, it's all of you bar association members.
Cardassian courts, which of course are fictional. I like to use fiction as a jumping on point to explain concepts, because people know more about fiction than they do the real things half the time. In Star Trek, on the planet Cardassia, there's sort of a fascist society, and you are found guilty at the start of your trial, and then the trial is them explaining why you're guilty, basically. It's interesting, and by interesting I mean it's a sham.
No, there is no license. It's a private membership. And I cannot subject myself as a living soul to an authority that violates my God-given unalienable rights.
Japanese courts, Japanese law does not have a Fifth Amendment or something similar. Obviously, they don't have the American Constitution, but what I mean is, you do not have the right against self-incrimination in Japanese law, to my understanding. If I'm wrong, please clarify. But that is my understanding.
And if you,
which isn't great.
You gentlemen carry that out, have you any idea what you're doing? What you're being asked to do? You need to think about it, because I can tell you right now, our military is watching every move you make right now.
Oh, that's some QAnon stuff. She's a QAnon person. That is QAnon. She believes in QAnon.
This is your opportunity to stand for the people and not for the people that are trying to steal every one of our rights as they did with Seth Flores. You should be ashamed of yourself, Deputy Dukowski. You told him on his second MIP you were going to take his vehicle and he was going to have to pay $12,000 to get it out of the impound. Do you know how many friends I have that can't drive a freaking car in this county up until the age of 35? I don't practice law. I practice rights.
And I'm not driving, I'm traveling. You're nailing it. You're nailing it, hun. Keep going.
I practice people living free and supporting one another. So if your court finds me guilty, your court is finding every God-given right the universe has ever known to be a fraud.
No, it's just you. You're guilty. Case dismissed. Bring in the dancing lobsters.
We would be happy to administer the real oath for you today, Judge Gathia. We have a body of people. We would be happy to do that.
Go fuck yourself,
We need a district court judge for the people to reinstate common law. The Bar Association has bought out the entire state of Michigan for the CCP. I know what that means.
What?
For the CCP.
Did she just accuse this judge of working for the Chinese Communist Party? Judge, are you or have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party? Oh, she's got all the brain worms. That sucks. Oh, God, the cultic milieu is coming from inside the house. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. The cultic milieu has metastasized. It's out of control. Has anyone seen The Blob?
CCP. I know what that means. I know what your role in that means. And
H-Bird says, the laws of the universe are a fraud. Does that mean gravity is a fraud? But is there a downward bias? There's no downward bias!
And I believe redemption is for
that guy's still going, by the way. He still does that shit daily.
Everyone. And I could be your best friend I believe you know God's truth. I believe you want to do God's truth.
Oh, presuppositionalism, too. Gotta love that. Presuppositionalism is where philosophy goes to die. Please stop. Presuppositionalism is someone who looked into philosophy or theology and went, nah, I'm just gonna decide everyone knows I'm right. Fucking hell.
And I believe you could be the man that we need, but we have to leave this
presuppositionalism, philosophy and theology for people who don't want to think.
Process of the Bar Association, and you have to take an accurate oath.
I'll witness it.
I'll witness it too, out there.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bridger.
I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna call it The Logic of Nonsense, and it's gonna be all about why people think nonsense. And it's gonna be the worst book you've ever read. Gitara says, I never thought I'd catch a QAnoner in one of these Sovsit Sundays, but here we are. Yeah.
And now I'll make the ruling. Article 6 of Michigan's Constitution of 1963 vests the judicial power of the state of Michigan in the Supreme Court and courts of record as established by law. It also gives the Supreme Court superintending control over all the lower courts. Michigan's Constitution also provides for the passage of public acts passed by the legislature and approved by the governor. These statutes, despite bad information that people get online, have the
that makes me uncomfortable.
Force of law. Michigan has a statutory system regulating the practice of law.
It was probably a revised constitution in 1963. I don't know for sure, but I imagine it was the Michigan Constitution of 1963. There was a previous one, but in 1963 they rewrote it.
Michigan Compiled Law 600.901 through 949. Section 904 vests the Supreme Court.
To be clear, I don't know that to be the case. I'm not huge on Michigan history. All I know is lumber, deforestation, indigenous people getting fucked over, the lumber industry getting fucked, the auto industry becoming a thing, the auto industry getting fucked, and now the medical industry being the biggest thing in the state.
With the power.
That's my overview of Michigan history. You're welcome.
Over the
Coney dogs are in there somewhere.
state. Ms. Bridgman, you may not leave the courtroom.
I'm gonna talk to somebody. I'm not trying to get away, Dukowski. You won't see
Okay.
me at 3
Ms.
a.m. on
Bridgman.
Butler Road.
I'm giving my ruling here.
Okay.
Section 904 vests the Supreme Court with power over the State Bar of Michigan, which under Section 901 is a public body corporate consisting of all persons licensed to practice law in Michigan. Section 916 makes it illegal.
Oh, I forgot the bridge. There's a bridge in there too.
For anyone to practice law unless they're licensed
It's not that important. It doesn't really go anywhere good, so.
to do so.
That's so mean. I like the UP. I like the UP. I'm joking. I'm just being a troll.
You're not
The
licensed.
Michigan Supreme Court.
People from the UP call people from the normal part of Michigan trolls because we live under the bridge. Get it?
In State Bar v. Kramer, 399 Mich. 116 in 1976.
Now you know Michigan
Noted
things.
that this
You can officially drink Faygo soda now. You're welcome. Faygo pop. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Faygo. I gotta call it pop. See, even when I say Faygo, it makes me want to say it like that. Faygo pop.
statutory scheme merely recognizes the inherent authority of the courts at common law to control the practice of law, dating back to the common law of England. When so-called sovereign citizens complain about the common law, they neglect to notice that the common law was what courts said.
Codes and
This
statutes
regulation is
are not.
She sucks. She sucks so bad. Our system has law written by the legislature, laws and statutes that can be interpreted specifically by the judiciary in specific ways that are binding to lower courts, which is common law. We have both. We have both.
The importance of protecting the public from the danger of unskilled persons practicing law.
Oh my goodness.
What constitutes the practice of law? In Dressel v. Ameribank, the Michigan Supreme Court in 2003 held that a person engages in the practice of law when he counsels or assists another in matters that require the use of
Faygo is the preferred pop of the insane clown posse, I'll have you know.
legal discretion.
To be clear, in Michigan, and this other places, probably Faygo is only a juggalo thing. I understand. People hear Faygo and they go, juggalos? In Michigan, it's not just a juggalo thing. Faygo's a pop from Michigan, the company, so it's just like a pop here. People here don't see Faygo and necessarily immediately think juggalos. It's just a Michigan thing here. That and Verner's. Verner's is disgusting, by the way. I thought for 25 years that I hated ginger ale. No, I hate Verner's. H-Bird says, fucking Faygo, how does that work?
Profound legal law.
So, Your Honor, where
Now,
was
basic
that
free
in my
speech
latest
protection
charges?
Protect the right
Juggalos. Did I say gigolos? Juggalos.
of people to espouse
Or
belief.
ICP from Michigan? I don't know. I don't know insane clown posse things. I got absolutely nothing, I got nothing against people who like insane clown posse. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whatever they say. I'm happy for them.
And to tell other people about those beliefs.
Ryan.
So Ms. Bridgman has the free speech
They're from
right
Detroit.
to believe what she wants to about courts and government and to tell other people about that. This includes, of
Verner's is medicine. I'd rather take codeine.
course, criticism of government and of the courts, but to give advice, guidance, and assistance to another person in their own legal matter at the courthouse to be applied to their particular case at that time crosses the line.
You don't like their anti-magnet philosophy? They're not anti-magnet. They're just very confused about magnets. Pander21, thanks for following. And Irk Your Nerves, thanks for following a minute ago.
The practice of law. At its heart, the practice of law is applying legal knowledge to a particular.
Ironically, I wonder if I ended up hating Verner's because whenever I was sick as a kid, my mom always tried to give it to me because, like, in Michigan, I'm not saying everyone does this, but there is a thing where, oh, you're sick, have some Verner's, it'll help your stomach, because it's like kind of a bubbly thing, yeah. I don't know if I associated that with illness and feeling bad, but I'm telling you, Werner's just tastes like bad. It's just bad. I don't even know how to describe it. I would have to have it in my mouth to describe the taste. I wish I had phrased that differently.
Issue or problem. This unauthorized practice of law is
Anyway, don't drink Werner's. Werner's is the worst.
contempt of court.
You had that written up earlier, didn't you?
Additionally, interfering with someone meeting with their attorney is a disruption of the court process and is therefore also a contempt of court.
He was not there to
The
meet
primary
with his
purpose of
attorney
the
yet.
contempt power is to preserve the effectiveness and sustain the power of the court. The power to hold a party in contempt is an important judiciary, yet still the legislature
It
has
is ginger
recognized
ale.
this
It's just like the most popular ginger ale in the state.
and codified it. This is merely a recognition of the common law contempt power of courts. Among these statutes, Section 600, Section 1701H provides that any court of record may hold in contempt all persons for assuming to be and acting as officers, attorneys, or counselors of any court without authority.
Stop doing outbursts. He's sent. Oh God.
Or for other
I wonder if she
unlawful
gets sent. I don't know if they do sentencing today. Probably not. But holy shit.
interference with or resistance to the process or proceedings in any action.
Hey, Pander 21.
So interfering with a person's consultation with an appointed attorney is directed by a judge, interferes with that process in that court case, and is a contempt of court.
Let's just pretend.
There are
Doesn't even
two forms of contempt, civil and criminal. Civil contempt applies when someone refuses to obey a court order.
Seriously, you're gonna get another contempt charge. What are you doing? She's just talking.
And the court coerces their compliance. So in civil contempt, the person can contempt by obeying the order. Criminal contempt
You guys
applies
put
past
hands on
action
me today.
for failure to appear as a criminal.
You can give it a shot, Pander. If this is gonna be a troll, it's gonna get deleted immediately. So please don't be that. But if you have a genuine question, go for it. Bear in mind, there's a delay, so if you try and type a troll thing, it's just going to get deleted before anyone sees it. So go for it if you're being genuine. Sorry for the caution, by the way. Just, you know, when a new person shows up and is like, can I ask you a question? I'd be stupid not to expect maybe a setup to something, but go for it.
Be careful.
The court, Ms. Bridgman. You've had your, I've given you
Aaron,
every
you are
opportunity.
misbehaving. You had this prepared. You
I
looked it
am-
up with your witnesses.
Recently, you've been feeling like dressing as a woman, as a boy, but I have people I know who really wouldn't like me for that. Again, I will take this in good faith, hoping that this is someone who's genuinely reaching out for help. Because I'm glad to talk about this, you know? I don't normally talk about trans issues primarily, but I have no problem talking about it, because I'm happy to help other people. Not to say this is necessarily a trans issue, it might just be a gender non-conforming issue. If that's something you're interested in, maybe try it out in the safety of somewhere. I don't know who you're talking about. Is it parents? Is it a spouse? I don't know how old you are, and I'm not asking. I don't need specific information. It's just very situation dependent. Primarily, I would say keep yourself safe. Like, if you're in a situation where you have parents that are very, very, very scary and against this, you're under 18. Okay. I think this person's probably trolling. Not anyone you guys can see. Someone said Patches O'Houlihan says drink your piss. Is that from Dodgeball? Okay. Anyway, keep yourself safe. If you are in a situation where you are in harm or in danger of being harmed, if your guardians found out, what is important first is your safety. So don't do anything that's going to endanger you. That said, you are valid, and anything you decide about who you are is fine as long as you're not hurting other people. And what I mean by that isn't that you are beholden to other people's emotions. If people are upset with you, that's not your fault because you're not doing anything wrong. If you're just wanting to express yourself and dress in a non-gender conforming way, or try that out and see if it fits your identity better, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. You shouldn't be ashamed. Any shame you feel is a product of the fact that we live in a society where there are very strict gender norms. Now, that is loosened a lot, luckily, and that's great. But again, keep yourself safe. That's paramount. Outside of that, whatever you do is okay as long as you're not hurting anyone. It's okay. okay. And I know some people feel like, especially when they're under 18, for instance, you feel like, I gotta do this now, I gotta do this now. And if you can, that's great. If you have support and have the ability to do more, excellent. But for people who can't, for people who were or are with parents or guardians who don't understand them being trans or gender nonconforming or whatever thing it might be, it's okay. You can start at 18. You can start at 19, 20, 21, 22, 50. It doesn't matter. I just want to make that clear. No matter what, you are okay. There's nothing wrong. And it's also cool if you try it out and you're like, I'm not feeling this. Exploring your identity is a perfectly normal and healthy thing to do. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself out of harm. But it's okay to explore things. You don't need to feel shame, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's a complicated topic, but we're here for you. And my DMs are open if you want to talk about anything. Anyone who has any like questions regarding trans stuff, I am perfectly happy on Twitter or Discord. If you send me a DM request, at minimum I'll read it. Like, I'm not saying I'll get to everyone because I have a lot of followers, but I will definitely read them. And if it seems like you need help, I will do my best to get, back to you, because I want to help people. I have experiences. I've made mistakes. I have a perspective on this. I've been transitioning for years now. I started at like 24. And I'm almost 30 now. I don't know. Just yeah. Just want to let people know, like, I am here for anyone who needs some parasocial support. Like, it can't, there's always that line. There is a line between the professional and the personal, and especially lately, I think it's fair to keep that very firm. But if someone needs just help and needs a question answered from someone that they like on stream, me, if you trust me, if you think my opinion is worthwhile, I'm happy to answer things, especially because here, maybe you don't want to talk about details, in chat. Maybe you're embarrassed. Maybe you think it is identifying information. I am happy to hear you out, like through a message or something. I promise nothing you ever say to me will ever be the information of anyone else. It's all private shit. Just putting it out there.
Come on
The Court
now.
of Appeals has specifically.
I was not
held
practicing
criminal
law.
contempt is-
I was practicing rights. Common law and the Constitution is about rights, not law.
Okay, so the court
Not
finds,
Your rights exist in an environment of laws.
Legal
finds
stuff.
Ms. Bridgman in contempt of court.
Also, I know we gotta go soon. I'll be done in just a sec.
Oh, yes.
For the unauthorized practice of law in giving Mr. Flores advice particular to his situation on what to write on his ticket as a lawful defense, to disobey the court's direction to consult with the MIDC attorney, which is required by law, and to leave the
By codes and
courthouse as he
statutes.
was not authorized to do so. And that resulted in harm to Mr. Flores. There was he
Dodgeball
was
reference
in
is ill-timed. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I'm paranoid. I'm very paranoid about trolls right now. So I am sorry to anyone commenting in good faith that I'm sus of. I'm glad you're here. I'm just like on high alert.
jeopardy of contempt of court by leaving without finishing the arraignment process by
My
following
honor.
the bad advice of Ms. Bridgman.
I am
That
not
was
I
wanting
enjoyed
to
being
be
on the transatlantic call-in show. I hope I get an opportunity to go back on, but
Court by
I don't blame them if I don't. It was unfortunately timed.
practicing law.
But yeah,
It's a
that show was
contempt of
fun.
court for interfering with the court process. Ms. Bridgman is also in contempt of court for failing to appear for the show cause hearing when she didn't show up for it, but she instead beforehand turned in the order, cut up into little pieces with the statement, your offer to contract is not accepted.
You trespassed on my yard with
Courts have the
no,
inherent authority to
right.
compel attendance. And
Do you mean they showed up to your house to give you a summons to court or to arrest you? Because that's not trespassing. If they have an arrest warrant or a thing to give you that's illegal paperwork, they have the right to give it to you.
she is in contempt of court for doing that. So Ms. Bridgman is in contempt of court for unauthorized practice of law and for the interfering with the court process on November 30th, 2023.
How did this start anyway? She's like a Sovsit guru, so she pretends to be like someone who can give you legal advice, and it's all sovereign citizen bullshit. So she is on trial for the unlawful practice of law. She ended up getting a contempt charge, and this is him finding her guilty of the actual unlawful practice charge, I believe.
He's also in contempt of court for failing to appear for her show cause hearing.
Be careful, I know some jujitsu.
Didn't mean to do that.
What day was that scheduled for?
Oh, I remember.
On December 20, I'm sorry.
So.
Oh, I think I maybe missed this. I'm not sure. One more Dwink says, being real for a minute, I missed you, Hannah. I'm glad to see you back. I'm glad to be back.
My honor.
I think I maybe missed that one, but I'm not.
So she's in contempt of court for failing to appear on December 20th. All right, Ms. Miller, any allocution as to sentence?
Your Honor, I just, it's concerning whenever a person is not able to participate in the judicial process in accordance with their rights. So I think that's the biggest issue. Is that Mr. Flores wasn't able to meet with MIDC, left without being arraigned. So I just
the my honor thing is so fucking passive aggressive.
To keep that.
Like, just call him, like, you don't need to, like, I understand if you don't want to say your honor, like, it's a little weird. I understand why it's a thing. Humans do weird things for ceremonial purposes, for symbolic purposes, to, without words, show things. For instance, your honor is a title of, honor. It's showing that he is in charge of the courtroom in this case, or she, or whoever happens to be the judge, right? It's showing that this is your courtroom, you are the judge. But, like, it's still a thing for a reason. The symbolic bullshit we do is arbitrary to an extent, but it does exist for social reasons. They're social tools. You don't have to call them your honor, but don't be an asshole and be like, my honor. Fuck off.
That's right. And it's consideration when issuing a sentence.
All right, Ms. Bridgman, do you have anything you wish to say before the court pronounces sentence for the contempt?
That eagle painting on the wall is also, this judge has his own YouTube channel where he posts all of these, that's where these come from. That eagle watercolor painting is like the logo for his channel, and that's so funny to me. Which came first? Did he have this picture on his courtroom wall, and then he made that his picture on YouTube? Or did he have his picture that he liked on YouTube, and then he put it in frame of the trials specifically because he's like, this is my logo? Next time we see him, he's going to have a 100K subscriber button right over here. I know that the picture was probably first. It's just funny.
Under common law, which is the only true
It
law.
makes it feel like what I'm doing with the Hannah Reloaded thing. It feels like branding. Is that legal? Yes. In Michigan, a lot of courtrooms, this started during COVID, but I actually really like it. Michigan court stuff has been, for a while, pretty open. They try and be very open about it. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Florida's sunshine laws, which basically allow you to do sort of FOIA requests on any information that's like court stuff. It's automatically public. I actually should say, I don't even think you need to do a request. I think it's just public. So when you see a lot of articles and the whole meme of Florida man, a lot of it comes from the reality that if you're a reporter or an internet person looking for clicks, it's easy to find crazy cases of things coming out of Florida because all of their files are public. So you can search arrest records and be like, what weird keywords, In Michigan, since COVID, they started a thing where you're supposed to have trials be a very open thing. Like, prior to COVID, you can go into a courtroom that's public and walk in if there's room and sit down and watch the trial. It's not something you would necessarily do for no reason unless you have some sort of just interest in courts and trials and stuff. But it is about the transparency. It is about the fact that you as a citizen or anyone who is in the country can walk into a courtroom and watch the process of our adversarial justice system. It's not a perfect system, far from it, but it's there for the idea that anyone can come and openly watch it. They're not hiding. They're trying to show everything. So when COVID hit and courtrooms were closed and people were doing things over Zoom, in order to maintain this transparency, they decided to, in courts, live stream stuff. Of course, the comments are turned off and everything. There isn't, like, It's not like a typical YouTube channel. It's basically just a repository where these courts live stream for the public so you can see all of the court procedures virtually as if you're sitting in the courtroom. It's, I think, great. Like, I really think it's a cool thing. It lets people see how the judicial process works. It lets people do it from the comfort of their homes. It shows people examples of very strange behavior like this. I think it's a great thing. Now, there are externalities to take into account. I would consider, if this went broader, the idea that judges having perverse incentive sets. The idea that a judge is so cognizant that they are being broadcast over the internet that they are influenced by that. I would hope that's not a thing, but we're human beings. And I understand that there's a difference between sitting relatively privately in a public court, but still only the people that really come in and out are watching you, versus being broadcast to unknown amounts of people online. I don't know. I would just be concerned that it would affect some judges' stuff. But outside of those concerns, I think it's very interesting, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Moving the idea of transparency for stuff like this into the digital age. I sound like a boomer saying that. Like, it's the 2020s. The digital age was fucking decades ago. It's just the norm now. But you know what I mean. The judicial system's laws take a long time to update to technology. Technology moves way quicker than society, culture, and definitely the law. So, I think it's good, but I'm sure there are problems with it.
Law, because comes from God's natural law. And the Constitution is based on that. The Constitution is not about law, it's about rights. I was not talking to Mr. Flores about any.
Unstable Deadbeat says, thanks so much for the fun streams, Hannah. So good, or so cool to have one earlier on a Sunday to sit and have my coffee and then entertain me while doing my chores, joining the chorus of people saying how great it is to have you back. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad things are moving forward.
Legal thing, because I'm not a bar association lawyer. I don't know about all your laws. I do know
well, that means you probably shouldn't practice law, huh?
That the need to have a attorney at arraignment, from what State Trooper Brenda Casperson
this trial
told me,
brought to you by, oh god, what was the Scottish land scam? Something titles.
A year ago. That is codes and statutes. We are not bound by that.
I'm 90% sure the entire online advertising business is a Ponzi scheme of some sort.
We are living beings.
I feel that way about mobile game ads, too. You ever play a mobile game and it's just full of ads for other mobile games? It just feels like a pyramid scheme where they're paying each other to get popular. And everyone's paying each other for ads for their game. Just infinite regress.
Not the corporate debt entity of the court system. I did not
I know they actually make money from whales, I know.
Practice law. I practiced his rights. Do you know that?
Did you do that by giving him legal advice? Because that's illegal. That's why you're here. Also, the closing statements are done? What the fuck? Did he say give a statement before, what's the word? Sorry. Sentencing. Did I miss that? I've been talking a lot.
There are plenty of other counties.
I'm very tired of her like everyone else in the court is. Also, kudos to the guy in the second row for having a mustard yellow shirt. Like, I don't think that shirt matches that tie even a little bit. But, like, fuck yeah. You're going for a look. I feel ya.
In the state that accept that same documentation that I filed and had Seth file.
Is this brought to you by G Fuel? It's actually brought to you by Shungite and creeps filming people in bathrooms.
I was hoping to make him
a pretty specific joke.
Unafraid of all of these. He has good things to say about a couple of your deputies. They're not all like that. This court is for profit. So standing in the way of that attorney, but that testimony, Mr. Gilbert, you should be ashamed of yourself, was not truthful. You had never approached.
Ms. Bridgman, this is your opportunity to tell me what penalty I should give you, if any.
Was anybody harmed?
Yes.
Was there any other financial damage to Seth Flores? I know there was to Mr. Gilbert because he lost a client that day, but then he recovered that. Good. okay? Are we not allowed to talk to people in the
You're not allowed to give them legal advice when you're not a lawyer. You're not allowed to act as a lawyer without being a lawyer. It feels like Mustard Shirt Guy and the defense lawyer, who she's mocking while he's laughing at her, they feel like they're in some sort of buddy lawyer show. Like, I don't know what it is, but those two have a story. I don't know what it is. But something's going on with those two. There's a dynamic at play. Like, you can, it's like if I was a costume designer and a casting director, I'd be like, I don't know what they are, but send them to central casting. They need something.
House not in the courtroom?
Ketchup and Mustard, attorneys
Is
at
that
law.
not a public space?
Aaron Ketchup and Michael Mustard were two of the best defense attorneys in LA until one day. Did you remember to file our licensing fee? Oh no! They wound up in a Michigan small town court. Oh no, Michael! What do you do? We're in a small town in Michigan now. It's all right, Aaron, or whatever I said your name was earlier. We'll get through this together. We're in a pickle. Fuck, you're so much better at this than me. And then they can do lawyer things, I guess? I don't know. That's my elevator pitch.
Are we not allowed to
I'll
help
work for scale.
a fellow citizen understand that he doesn't have to lose everything
I won't even touch craft services, even if there's cheese.
in his life as he's just getting started? That he can have people stand with him and encourage him and coach him through, maybe handle his drinking. I suggested that he stop drinking and he start to, you know, pay attention, and we'll be there.
That's great. That's not legal advice. That's life advice.
He gets pulled over because he's afraid. I don't see where there has been any harm. And if you can rule that as contempt.
Then one of them fell down an open elevator shaft. That's a specific reference. Kate and Leopold. Creamy butter.
I have no longer I see no ability to redeem anything in this courtroom. You refuse to address your oath. And if you hold me in contempt of court, I think that's quite unbelievable.
All right, well, I've already
Yeah, I do have
had.
somebody who would like to make a statement on my behalf.
No, that's not allowed.
It's done. It's over. This was not the time.
So,
why didn't you call a witness?
I have
See,
filed
you're
a.
judge, jury.
Yeah, you've made all your statements. I have filed an oath proper under the laws. I filed the constitutional oath required by Article 1, Section 11 of the state constitution. All these sovereign citizens.
I advise you, as your attorney, I advise you to rent a very fast car with no top. And you'll need the cocaine. Tape recorder for special music. Acapulco shirts. Get the hell out of LA for at least 48 hours. Blows my weekend. Why? Because naturally, I'm gonna have to go with you. And we're gonna have to arm ourselves.
Yeah, I'll be doing YouTube again soon. I was just getting back to it and just starting with YouTube or Twitch just to deal with one chat at a time before I dive back in.
Well, as your attorney, I advise you to buy a motorcycle.
Probably tomorrow I'll be on YouTube and Twitch.
Attorney, I advise you to drive at top speed. It'll be a goddamn miracle if we can get there before you turn into a wild animal.
I hate to say this, as if, like, I like Terry Gilliam. He's fucking great. I have not seen Fear and Loathing yet. I own it, so I plan on watching it. It came out on 4K from Arrow a while back, but I haven't actually seen it yet. I also know, how do I put this? Adrenochrome comes up in it, and it's a source that a lot of conspiracy theorists use for adrenochrome.
Citizen folks who get these crazy arguments online that are frankly just wrong. I encourage you, read the state constitution. You'll find that all this stuff you're getting from seminars or whatever online is just false. And Mr. Flores, to his harm, listened to it.
Fisher King is my current favorite Terry Gilliam movie, by the way.
Almost got held in contempt. Ms. Bridgman has total disregard for the court's authority.
He was
The visual, for those who haven't seen The Fisher King, please watch it. I don't want to spoil anything, but the visual of Robin Williams' character's trauma, it's so on the nose, but so scary. I love that. That's a great movie.
And courts are the way that citizens.
The way he turns like a dirty New York, like grungy area into this like fantasy world of like swashbuckling heroes. Like it's great. It's so great. Anyway, it's a great rumination on trauma and loss, mental illness, homelessness. Please watch it.
Recourse to the law. In societies that don't have a court system, they don't have the rule of law. You end up with the rule of the bully, and the court protects citizens from the government several times. There's important business to be had. There was important business to be had for Mr. Flores that day.
I don't think
And
the
Ms.
British.
Brisbane interfered.
Wow.
And she totally refused to appear for court willfully. Her conduct today has been directly contumacious. And she has exhibited repeated disregard and, frankly, utter contempt for not only this court, but for really any court.
If you want another Robin Williams movie that you maybe haven't seen, not one of his bigger ones, it was later in his life, called World's Greatest Dad. Warning, it will make you cry. There is, especially because Robin Williams is in it, there are elements of suicide in that film and loss of suicide. So loss from suicide rather. So be aware going in. It is a movie that gets very, very, very dark. But I think it's a good movie, powerful, but really good.
And so
under the Bar Association, I believe so.
I'll even tell you the basic premise, because it'll give you a warning of how kind of fucked up but serious it gets. Robin Williams is a dad who's like an English teacher and no one takes him seriously, and he has this son who's a teenager who's like the biggest asshole. This son is an asshole to the dad and everyone else. He's a bully. He sucks. This kid sucks. And don't get me wrong, in the movie, he's supposed to have problems too. Like, you know, kids are kids. Kids have problems. Kids have mental issues just like anyone is capable of having. And partway through the movie, Robin Williams, the father, walks in and the son has hung himself to death accidentally because he was partaking in autoerotic asphyxiation. So the dad, not wanting his son to be humiliated, cleans it up a bit, makes it look like he did it intentionally, and writes a fake suicide note for his son. And the note everyone latches onto is like beautiful. Like everyone thought this kid is such an asshole and hated everyone and sucked, because he did. But the dad wrote a fake note that depicted him as like much better underneath, and everyone becomes enamored with this. And he has to keep this lie going. So it's a lot of things. You can probably tell from that description it gets pretty dark, but like it's Robin Williams, so it balances that line. There are darkly comedic things and just things that are dark. So if that sounds like something you're into, check it out. It's great. If it sounds like something that's horrifying to you, stay away, because you're right. World's Greatest Dad is the name. He does hang dong. If you want to see Robin Williams' penis, that is the movie for it.
So you're not upholding anything to the Constitution and the state.
Yeah, like Dear Evan Hansen, but not shit.
Constitution.
I like a few of the songs from Dear Evan Hansen. To be clear, the actual original Broadway version, but it's pretty there's problems. That's a different stream.
We need to
not
give
talking about
a
Dear Evan
sentence
Hansen today.
that is proportionate, but also is enough to discourage Ms. Bridgman from this type of interference, and also to discourage other people from following down a similar path. So Ms. Bridgman,
1 hour photo is really
30
good.
days jail served.
I love 1 hour photo.
Bethany, come with me, okay?
You know, guys, you need to arrest.
What did she get? I'm sorry, I missed it. I was talking about Robin Williams' penis.
Need to give a sentence that is proportionate, but also is enough to discourage Ms. Bridgman from this type of interference, and also to discourage other people from following down a similar path. So Ms. Bridgman, you're ordered a 30 days jail served forthwith.
30 days?
Come with me, okay?
You know, guys, you need to arrest.
I think that sounds pretty reasonable for her. Like, I don't know, there's not an objective answer to this question. But, like, it's a month. It's not nothing, but it's not enough that it'll necessarily... I don't know. A month seems about right to me, and that's very subjective, but I don't know. For what it's worth, I don't think it'll make a difference, but gotta do something.
Ask the judge for impersonating a public official.
Bicentennial Man's great. I can't believe Bicentennial Man still hasn't been released on Blu-ray ever. That's a great movie. I love it. Although the end has a very weird line where it seems like the future is some sort of Christian state. Because at the end of the movie, for those who aren't familiar with Bicentennial Man, he starts as a robot. He's an android. It's based on works of Asimov. So it has, you know, the 3 laws and stuff. And he slowly over time becomes a human. The premise is, like, he wants to be a human, so he starts, as technology advances, replacing parts in his body with, like, human parts, because, like, and not in a horror film way, it's in the future where, like, printed organs made of, like, actual human cells are a thing. So he, like, finds a guy who works on these, and one by one he has his robot parts all changed out for human organs, until finally on his deathbed, because he's dying, because he's a human now, he fights for, like, literally centuries to be recognized by the law as human. Spoilers, at the end of the film, right as he is dying, the court, like, Supreme Court of this future world declares that he is officially he is a human being, and as he is, like, over 200 years old, thus the name Bicentennial Man, because he is over 200 years old, he is now legally, officially the oldest man to ever live, except for biblical figures such as Methuselah. That is a line in the movie. This Supreme Court, 200 years in the future, cites the Bible. That's fucking awful. Like, I don't know if that happened because this movie came out in the early 2000s, so I don't know if a studio person was like, you gotta throw this in there because the evangelicals are gonna be mad if we say he's the oldest human to ever live and don't acknowledge their biblical literalist bullshit. But, like, it's a very strange line.
You need to arrest the judge for impersonating a public official.
Oh yeah, tell the bailiff to arrest the judge again.
Concerned at all about what you're being asked to do?
Feels a little bit like when the studio made Frankenstein take out the line, "It's alive, it's alive! In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God." They considered it blasphemous, so they edited out the part where it says, "Now I know what it's like to be God," by just putting a lightning strike sound effect over it. Nowadays on Blu-ray and DVD, it's back to the original version, but it was censored because of blasphemy. Even though the point is that Dr. Frankenstein has a god complex, that's the point. You're not supposed to think he's a good guy for saying that. You're supposed to think he's gone mad with power. But whatever. Asimov had a lot of biblical references, but he used they to be more poignant, not because he was faithful. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Judge, when does it have to be started? She can serve her 30
Mr.
days anytime.
Mr. Flores said no harm was done to him.
He didn't say a date on when it should start. Can we talk about that?
Asimov wrote guides to the Bible from a historical POV. That's interesting. The last question.
What is your first name?
The last question is a science fiction short story by American writer Isaac Asimov. It first appeared in November 1956 issue of Science Fiction Quarterly, and in the anthologies in the collections 9 Tomorrows, The Best of Isaac Asimov, Robot Dreams, The Best Science Fiction of Isaac Asimov. It lists places you can find it. The story overlaps science fiction, theology, and philosophy. It's been recognized as a counterpoint to Frederick Brown's short story Answer, published 2 years earlier. Plot summary. The story centers around Multivac, a self-adjusting and self-correcting computer. Multivac has been fed data through the decades. Oh, is this where it creates the universe? Yeah, I'm familiar with this story. The computer working to figure out why the universe exists and how to avert it, literally, like, recreates the universe, and it's, like, cyclical. Yeah. I like the egg.
Okay. I need you to listen to the citizens of this community and understand, no, how are we ever going to give back a constitutional sheriff? You're not following anything about our inalienable rights. No, the military has a way to deal with it.
Logart says the synopsis is humans and technology merging over millions of years, asking if they have enough knowledge to create light, and at the end they do, and they are let there be light. Yeah. There's a Twilight Zone episode where there's two different aliens that look like humans, but they're like aliens, that land on a planet and they're stranded there together and initially don't like each other, but then come to love each other even though they don't speak each other's language. The twist at the end is that it's supposed to be Adam and Eve, and they landed on Earth, and it's the Garden of Eden, and they populate the Earth.
I know. Oh, thanks for coming in.
That's not my favorite science fiction trope. I don't have like I'm not against it. Like the idea that like, oh, the science fiction thing, as it turns out, this religious story was actually based on these science fiction events. That's fine. It's fine. I don't like it, but I don't know. I just think it's overdone. I've just seen it. I've just seen it before. Oh, the thing you were showing me was actually an allegory or a parallel to some other story? Great.
I mean, I only go into jail with 4 deputies. I mean, anything less.
It needs to be clever. Let me put it that way. At least it needs to be clever. The Asimov story at least sounds kind of interesting. The Adam and Eve thing was just, hey, it's Adam and Eve. Surprise.
And
you want somebody to take this up or bring it back with you?
No, this is corruption. My daughter. Corruption. She follows the law, the right.
Let's go, let's go. Ma'am, walk. Let's go.
Ooh, electric brain. That is a good question. Man of the year? I want to say it's man of the year.
All right, guys. We're just gonna let this stand. A man with a fraudulent oath of office. I can't wait to look into yours, Paige.
Keep going, come on, please, thank you.
Wow, she's still going.
You guys need to pick the right side.
I bet while she is in county lockup, she will find plenty of new clients, unfortunately.
Let's go.
Yeah.
She should maybe not be around the other prisoners. It might be a good idea to, like, not, because she's definitely gonna try and... Hey, you need a lawyer?
Yeah,
You need to decide.
come on.
No, you are, you are cool. We are.
Stop it, that tells me. I know what I'm. Stop it.
Let's go, folks.
Don't make this. You got time.
No, it could be you next time.
Someday the right person will get. Your deputies have no right.
Corruption.
To ask a passenger for their driver's license.
Okay.
That is illegal.
We need a physical.
Someday someone will take your rights away.
Still going, wow.
He's here. He's just lining up his people.
AdamandZenu.com. I think you're just thinking of Bad Dragon.
Are you going to tell your deputy?
Don't Google ovipositor.
Is that?
Man, we need to clear the courtroom.
Are you not answering this?
I will tell them whatever you want me to tell them.
They have no right to ask for a passenger's driver's license.
Okay, I'll tell her that.
It should be enforced.
That was nuts. Well, she's in jail. Surprise. All right. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. Another fun stream. The ovipositor is from Primal Hardware. Is that a company? I don't know. Look, it says, oh no, I read that. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go hang out with some friends and play board games and stuff. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Hang out on the Discord. It's a fun place. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. Have a good night. Bye. See you tomorrow.